in Zionsville. He also worked for a hospital in Indianapolis. While at work, he used social media to send the explicit content to others. The paramedic also had sexually explicit images and videos on his tablet and had saved content that showed the sadomasochistic sexual abuse of children. Upon his release, Stevens will be on probation for 10 years. He must also pay restitution and register as a sex offender. Sasha Nixon, 93, WIBC Mobile News.
4 people were shot last night in Indianapolis. One of the victims who was shot in a car later died, and another person was killed early this morning on East 38th near the state fairgrounds. IMPD Major Mike Leeper says crimes like these are troubling.
Someone that has absolutely no regard for human life. I can assure you that the Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department, our officers and detectives are laser focused against gun violence in our community.
They're looking for the suspects in all of these shootings. If you know anything, call IMPD. It's about to get colder across Indiana, especially in the morning.
We have a cold front coming through. It looks like it'll arrive tomorrow, probably late tomorrow.
Matt Eckhoff with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis says you can expect to see frost Saturday and Sunday, which means if you have sensitive plants outside, you'll probably want to bring them indoors or cover them up. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:04.
Fall in Indy. And since 2001, Rhino Shield has been covering Indiana homes and businesses. Just ask Mike.
I was watching TV one night and saw the Rhino Shield ad, and I thought, well, if they can do a house, they can probably do a building.
And Rhino Shield's not paint, it's better.
So they came out and they gave me a price, showed me how the Rhino works, how it lasts, and how the guarantee works.
All right, Indy, get the 25-year guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield right now for 15% off the regular price.
They started on the building. They waited for us to leave, and they worked Saturday and Sunday so they wouldn't affect our business at all. This was the great part of it. I came back Sunday night, and you couldn't even tell they were here. There was no paint on the ground. They did a fantastic job.
Here's owner Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl. Go Rhino.
Don't vinyl, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
With traffic on the 5s at 3:05, here's Matt Baer.
Going to Shelbyville, it is rough right now. Eastbound 74 crash on the approach to Acton. And the right lane is blocked. Not just a crash, a rolled semi-trailer that they're sweeping up right now. Traffic is stopped back to Post Road ahead. The delay at 21 minutes could take you longer. East side southbound 465 stop and go from 70 down to South Shadeland Avenue. Traffic sponsored by ExpressPros.com. Make hiring easier with the workforce experts. Hiring is about finding the right person, so let the team at Express Employment Professionals recruit for you. Visit ExpressPros.com. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Clouds increase for tonight. Low temperature of 50 degrees tomorrow. Spotty chance at a morning shower. Dry afternoon, partly cloudy. High temperature of 76 degrees. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox. On the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
On 93 WIBC.
So let's rock it!
Hey now, it's the Hammer and Nigel show. My name is Jason Hammer. Big Nige is out today. This story from Huntington is pretty gross. Huntington University, small religious university, small college here in Indiana. They've got some major Larry Nassar type of stuff going on here. Now, there's a lot to unpack. So we're going to take this step by step here, okay? So what's going on is 2 former student athletes at Huntington University on the cross-country team. They've now filed a suit against the school, against their former coaches, claiming that the university violated their Title IX rights and failed to protect them from their predatory coach. Now, once we get into the weeds of what is actually taking place here, it's going to be pretty disgusting. So according to the lawsuit, the now former Huntington University cross-country and track coach, Nick Johnson, inappropriately touched female athletes, manipulated them, sexually assaulted them, and injected them with substances. Sweet mother of God. The 2 former student athletes, their names are out there. I'm not going to say their names. I know they have given the green light for the media to say their names. I don't know. I would prefer not to. But they filed in federal court on September 30th about what was going on here. They were the top runners at Huntington. They won the NAIA National Championship. They won a natty in cross country. Now, also named in this lawsuit is assistant coach Lauren Johnson. That's the wife of the head coach, Nick Johnson. The suit claims that Lauren was kicked out of some Nike Oregon track club in 2015, and Nick, her husband, was fired as an assistant coach at the same time. Now, this is where it gets kind of in the weeds, so make sure we follow along here. After the breakup with this Nike Oregon track club, the lawsuit states that Nick Johnson became involved with some other project, the Nike Oregon project. That was led by some cat named Alberto Salazar, who was found guilty of doping and banned by the United States Anti-Doping Agency and the World Anti-Doping Administration. So think about how dirty you think track and field is in terms of doping, and imagine being too dirty for track and field. That's how bad this project was from Oregon. Now, the plaintiffs here are claiming that the Johnsons, head coach Nick and his wife Lauren, brought those dirty tactics that they learned from this Oregon project to Huntington, where they were coaching the cross-country team. Now, this is from the lawsuit. Again, this was filed on September 30th. Johnson allegedly used shots, pills, and creams on the student athletes without telling them exactly what the treatments were. Also, quote, Johnson physically held down a student athlete and administered 4 shots in her lower back and near her uterus as she was recovering from an Achilles injury and poison ivy. The student athlete claims she tried to reject the shots, but was not strong enough. One of the student athletes claims that Coach Johnson raped her on several occasions between July 2020 and November of 2020 using physical force, coercion, threats, and promises. This is all filed in court on September 30th. John Little, the attorney for these student athletes, these ladies at Huntington, spoke to our news gathering partners at Wish TV.
There's at least one adult victim of sexual abuse, one minor victim of sexual abuse, and an innumerable number of people who were injected under false pretenses or against their will.
Now, as bad as all this is, and that's pretty disgusting, you're talking about rape, you're talking about forcing an injection on somebody who wanted to get away from it. The records show that the coach was previously charged in December after being accused of child seduction, kidnapping, and identity deception. So the dude had somewhat of a record. Once again, here's the attorney, John Little, speaking to Wish TV.
They didn't know what they were taking. They took it under false pretenses. And some of the stuff they straight up did not consent to and were forced to take, physically forced.
So this is bad. This is real bad, not only for the atrocious things that happen to these young ladies, these student athletes, but if the university knew that this dude had a record and they hired him anyway, this is going to be a problem. The lawsuit names the Johnsons, another assistant coach, the university, the board of trustees, all in this lawsuit. The legal team is now urging any other women, any other student athletes that may have had the same experience to come forward, because you don't have to be first anymore. So this is a real life kind of Larry Nassar situation happening all over again at a very small, very quiet religious institution in the state of Indiana. This is pretty bad stuff happening right here. Now, speaking of colleges, woke up to the news today about drama happening at Purdue last night. Purdue University police, they're investigating the homicide of a student at a residence hall last night. There was a murder in one of the dorms. A university spokesperson said a 911 call came into the Purdue University Police Department at around 12:44 a.m. from McCutcheon Hall. So if you're familiar with West Lafayette, if you're familiar with the campus of Purdue, McCutcheon Hall, one of the residence areas, this is where the murder took place. This is the chief of police at Purdue University, Leslie Wheat.
So we are investigating this as a homicide of a Purdue student inside the residence hall, McCutcheon Hall, where we are at today. This investigation is ongoing and will continue for quite a while. The victim's name and status here at Purdue University is Varun Manish Chedda, 20 years old, who's a senior in data science. Our suspect name and status with the university, Ji Min, goes by Jimmy Shaw, 22 years old. He's a junior in cybersecurity, also a resident in McCutcheon Hall. As of now, the charges are murder. That is the only charge we have on our suspect, and the investigation is ongoing at this time.
And again, that suspect in custody, the roommate of the victim, and it was the suspect that made the 911 call. So Purdue's director of media and public relations, a guy by the name of Tim Doty, said that students were not sent a campus alert because the suspect was the one that called 911 and there was no immediate threat. So I don't know how I feel about this one, because I get alerts from my kids' school all the time. If there's a situation on a school bus, if somebody brings in a weapon, if there's a threat on social media, I kind of want to be aware of all that kind of stuff. And if there's a murder that takes place in a dorm, I kind of want to be aware of all that kind of stuff taking place as well. I mean, I understand they probably have protocols in place. I'm thinking from a parent's perspective here. If I had a child that was in McCutcheon Hall, whether it was on that same floor or not, I don't care. If there's a murder, I want to be alerted. I think that warrants a campus alert. Maybe that's just me. All right, Matt Baer, you are in the WIBC Traffic Center. Let's get people where they need to be.
All right, Hammer, let's do our best here. Going to Shelbyville, that's going to be a task today. We're looking at eastbound 74 approaching Acton. And this is a rolled semi blocking the right lane. The interstate is open, but man, are we stopped traffic right now back to Post Road, a little bit beyond now as this delay continues to grow. And we are looking at least 26 minutes to make your way through. So that's going to be a slowdown on your way to Shelbyville. Traffic sponsored by Mississinawa 1812. Experience the wilderness life of early Indiana territory. Mississinawa 1812 in Marion, Indiana. Enjoy food, entertainment, and shopping this Friday through Sunday. Info at Mississinawa1812.com. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Matt mentioning Mississinawa reminds me of a reservoir that's there. And that's one of my favorite things to say as a Hoosier. Mississinawa Reservoir. I feel like I'm French when I do that. I feel like I'm a little bit more sophisticated.
I love it when the word comes up just because I can pronounce it, and I feel cool when I get it right. I really do.
We're going to have some Grey Poupon at the Mississinawa Reservoir.
At the boudet, I would use.
Thank you, Matt. Right now, it's absolutely beautiful. Just a beautiful sunshine day. I'm looking out the window here at Monument Circle, which is why I always look like I'm on the witness protection program on the YouTube stream. I think today it looks okay, but there are times where I just got a straight shadow on my face, because when I've got this awesome background behind me of Monument Circle, I'm not going to close the window. I have worked in some radio dumps, I have worked in some hell holes, and I'm not going to have this view much longer, to be honest with you. Downtown Indianapolis and Monument Circle, are you kidding me? So I'm always going to have this window open. So for those of you who've always wondered, who watch on the YouTube chat, why does it look like my lighting makes me look like I'm in the witness protection program? That right there is why. 76 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Event no one believed would be allowed to happen again. A very special evening with Tony Katz.
I avoid the use of the words dumb and stupid.
Kendall and Casey.
They're just strapping you in. Go for it.
Hammer and Nigel.
It's loud, it's chaotic.
And special guests. It's the 2022 edition of A Night with WIBC. Presented by Relay Indiana. It'll be funny, and it won't be PC. Thursday, October 27th at the Schwartz Center on the beautiful campus of Butler University. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com.
Listen right here this weekend to Everyday Wealth with Soledad O'Brien and Gene Chatsky, presented by Edelman Financial Engines. For airtimes, visit everydaywealth.com.
Tony Katz for Moss Roofing, MOSS, mossroofing.com, the family-owned business in its second generation of taking care of the roofs of Indianapolis and all over central Indiana. They do full roof replacements, residential or commercial. You've got storm damage, you talk to Moss Roofing. And their financing, they've got a plan that works for everybody's budget. So yes, now is the time to get that roof taken care of. And if you need siding, they work with James Hardy Siding. We're talking about the low maintenance, fully painted, 15-year warranty on the finish, James Hardy Siding. When you go to sell your home, your house is going to be worth more money because you will have increased the value with James Hardy Siding. And it holds up better in the Indianapolis weather. Talk to the family at Moss Roofing today. 317-784-3227. Tell them Tony Katz sent you. 784-3227. 784-3227 or online at Moss, M-O-S-S, mossroofing.com.
Hey, Becky, what about this beat for your next song?
It's cool, but I'm into faster stuff lately. Like Xfinity that gives me beyond gig speeds.
Got it. What about this then?
It sounds powerful, just like Xfinity. Because its supersonic Wi-Fi has 3 times the bandwidth, you can connect hundreds of devices at once.
That's what I call power.
Unbeatable internet from Xfinity. Made to do anything so you can do anything.
Get the Xfinity Supersonic Bundle with unlimited gig speed internet, Wi-Fi equipment included, and a free 4K streaming box, all for $50 a month with a 2-year internet rate guarantee and no annual contract when you add Xfinity Mobile at regular rates. Go to Xfinity.com/gig, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Limited time offer. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. New Gigabit Extra internet customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Xfinity Mobile requires post-pay Xfinity internet. After 24 months, regular rates apply. Requires compatible gateway.
$111,000. Would you be upset if you lost $111,000? I'll tell you where you wouldn't want to be. Anywhere around this guy. Get this. 96% of Americans lose an average of $111,000 in Social Security income. And it's because they claim their benefits at the wrong time. But you could avoid this with a free Social Security analysis from Bill Demery right here in Indy. He knows Social Security like the back of his hand. This free analysis will tell you exactly when to file for your benefits, so you don't leave one thin dime on the table. If you've saved at least $200,000 and have not filed for Social Security, schedule your free analysis now by calling 317-972-9172. That's 317-972-9172. 317-972-9172.
Hammer and Nigel here for our friends, your local, independent, American Standard heating and air conditioning dealers. Listen, life is hard. You've got plenty of things to worry about, like, will the Colts cover 3.5 tomorrow night? These are the things you should be worrying about. You should never have to worry about your heating and cooling system. And when you work with American Standard Heating and Air, you don't have to worry about that stuff. And one of the fantastic local dealers is Family Heating and Air. The Morris family and their staff here to help you out this fall. You could call Rachel, Marcus, or Malia today for your furnace tune-up and make sure that it's running safely and efficiently. Family Heating and Air always encourages you to call them for a free second opinion if you've already got a quote from another heating and air company. Nobody cares for you like Family. They take care of you, and they can also help with your indoor air quality. 577-8077. That's Family Heating and Air, 577-8077. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you. American Standard Heating and Air, built to a higher standard.
The midterm elections are here, Indy. Tuesday, November 8th is Election Day. Go to vote.indy.gov to find all the information you need about how and where to vote. That's vote.indy.gov. Message paid for by the Marion County Election Board.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by thehomeloanexpert.com.
And we're back. The Hammer and Nigel Show, 93 WIBC.
A Night with WIBC, presented by Relay Indiana, is coming up. Final Thursday in October. I believe that's the 27th. We're doing the show at Butler University this year, much larger venue. And we've told you that this event is going to sell out. The first one sold out quickly. The second one sold out quickly. So we got a bigger venue, and I spoke to the folks at Ticketmaster earlier today. Less than 150 tickets remaining. Now, to put this in perspective, it was around 200 tickets remaining just a couple days ago. So based on this progression, this bad boy will sell out. If you don't have your tickets, I highly recommend you get them right now. Now, Kyle, TKW, Megamondo, our producer, you have been at every single one, both of the nights with WIBC. Take somebody through what happens.
So basically, if you have ever wanted to just hang out with your favorite cast and characters from WIBC, we are all going to be under the same roof at the same time. It's like an all-star game.
It is.
You're getting all of us together, and this is an opportunity to actually talk to us, which you have always wanted. So here you go. It's an opportunity to talk to Hammer, talk to Nigel, talk to Rob, Casey, Tony Katz, and of course, all of us behind the scenes, the producers will be there as well.
And there's a big stage show, too. It's not just, we're gathering and we're hanging out and we're drinking. We're doing stage shows. Tony's going to go out and do 20 minutes on the stage. Rob and Casey will do their 20 minutes. Nige and I will do ours. And then at the end, we have a big round table where all of us are just up there taking questions from the crowd, talking shop. And the crowds are always really rowdy at these.
Yeah.
Because, again, we can say things at these events that we can't say on the radio.
Right. Unfiltered. Pretty much the stuff that we say off the air.
Right.
We're allowed to say it there at a night with WIBC. So if you've ever wanted to hear, what does Clark always say? Phil
Flarn, filth.
You'll hear that at a night with WIBC.
So again, less than 150 tickets are remaining. It's going to be a fun night, man. I'm telling you, everybody that has gone, I promise you, says they've got their money's worth. It's a crowd event. We feed off the energy. We try to provide a little energy, and it's right before the midterms, too. So we got a lot of stuff to get to. I'm so excited. And again, thank you to Relay Indiana.
Yeah,
Relay Indiana, one of our great partners.
You guys had me dress up as the Kool-Aid Man. Oh, yeah. For the first A Night with WIBC. And then you had me dress up as Luke Bryan. I'm Luke Bryan last year. So I'm not going to tell you, listeners, who I'm dressing up as this year. You just have to be there to find out. But let's just say it's somebody you're very familiar with, and it's going to be worth every second of
You're
it.
dressing up as Tony Katz.
There it is.
Night
got
with
a cigar and
WIBC.
Fingers Malloy, and I'm good to go.
Get your tickets now. We've got the ticket link pinned on our Facebook and Twitter. Just look for Hammer and Nigel Show on Facebook and Twitter. The links are pinned at the top, or just go to Ticketmaster.com, search for WIBC. All seats, I believe, are general admission. If you have special needs, they'll take care of you when you get there. You can also buy the VIP experience, where you basically get to hang out with all of us, shotgun a few beers, tell a few dirty jokes, and that kind of stuff. Looking forward to seeing all of you there. Get your tickets now. That being said, coming up at the end of this month is Halloween. So, from the people who bring you legal stuff, from the people who bring you vaccine stuff, TK Dub, hit me with some Halloween stuff.
Pumpkins, candy, costumes, Halloween stuff.
Don't like this. Don't like this at all. The city of Jacksonville will not be enforcing a sign requirement for sex offenders this Halloween due to a federal lawsuit. So this is kind of a warning for the parents in Jacksonville. It's up to you to physically have to go online and find out where the sex offenders and predators live before your kids go trick-or-treating around the neighborhood. There are more than 2,500 2,500 registered sex predators and offenders in Duval County, which is where Jacksonville is. Now, normally on Halloween, they're each required to post a sign outside of their home stating no candy or treats here. Okay? Makes sense. Part of what they signed up for by registering as a sex offender. And the city passed a law in 2010 not allowing convicted sex offenders or predators to allow trick-or-treating at their homes, and they have to post that no candy sign. Well, that law has been challenged in the last couple of years, and now it's being challenged again by 2 registered sex offenders who filed a federal lawsuit against the city of Jacksonville saying those signs are unconstitutional. So because of this federal lawsuit, city attorneys said they're not going to be enforcing the law this year requiring sex offenders to post those signs. Now, to be 100% clear, it's kind of like getting busted with weed here in Marion County right now. The law is technically still in effect, but they're not going to be prosecuting or enforcing the law. There was a law that was in Georgia that was very similar that was recently struck down as well. So, again, I know lawyers will get involved. They'll tell you what's constitutional, what's not constitutional, but don't be afraid to jump online, do a little research. You can find how many registered sex offenders live in your neighborhood. You just have to be willing to do a little bit of the legwork. If I lived in Duval County, you bet your sweet ass I'd be doing it. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Do you need to beat inflation? Golden Oak Lending is here to help. While others are talking about rising interest rates, we are lowering ours.
Inflation has credit card balances at an all-time high. Why pay up to 25% interest when Golden Oak can pay off that debt at 5.75% fixed?
Don't get stuck paying the minimum payments on credit cards. The average homeowner has over $60,000 in equity. You deserve to put that cash to work for you.
Our average cash-out customer saves $904 a month. Call 317-706-GOLD for your free mortgage checkup.
Inflation shouldn't win. Our low mortgage rates and your equity make you the winner. And remember, if we can't close your loan, the appraisal is no charge.
Call 317-706-GOLD to lock in your 5.75% rate today.
Golden Oak Lending cured my blues.
NMLS 114937. 5.75% fixed. 6.991% APR. FHA 15-year mortgage with 20% equity and approved credit.
Why do I like being a jewelry consultant at Shane Company? It's fun. I get to talk with everyone, people from all walks of life. Whatever you've got going on, a birthday, anniversary, new baby, or just because, fine jewelry is an awesome gift to give. And we have something unique in every price range, backed up with a free lifetime warranty. At Shane Company, we take every step to ensure that our jewelry is the highest quality, and we continually improve our styles, even the classics, like our diamond stud earrings. Ours are simply the best pair of studs in town. The diamonds are stunning, hand-selected for their beauty and hand-matched for consistency. We have studs in every price range, different metals, and 4 diamond shapes to choose from. The classic round shape, an oval shape, princess cut, and cushion cut. We even pay attention to the earring backs to make sure they're extra secure. Visit us for a lasting, memorable gift.
Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and ShaneCo.com.
When you can't stop, there's Vicks VapoRub. Vicks VapoRub sends powerful medicated Vicks vapors right to the source of your... so you can experience cough relief and breathe easier. Generations of families have trusted Vicks VapoRub to help relieve the worst cold symptoms. So next time you have a cough, reach for the Vicks VapoRub. Vicks VapoRub. Cough relieving is believing.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level. On the go.
Why a paramedic is going behind bars. Sunny and 75 degrees in downtown Indianapolis with a low of 51 tonight. A clear radar now. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:32. A Zionsville paramedic was sentenced to 8 years in prison for child pornography. Sasha Nixon reports.
Daniel Stevens pled guilty to distribution and possession of child sex abuse material, the Department of Justice announced Wednesday.
Stevens worked as a firefighter-paramedic in Zionsville. He also worked for a hospital in Indianapolis. While at work, he used social media to send the explicit content to others. The paramedic also had sexually explicit images and videos on his tablet and had saved content that showed the sadomasochistic sexual abuse of children. Upon his release, Stevens will be on probation for 10 years. He must also pay restitution and register as a sex offender. Sasha Nixon, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Joe Biden is in Southwest Florida today, taking a look at the damage left behind from Hurricane Ian. Speaking in Fort Myers, he says the federal government will stay in Florida until the state has fully recovered from the storm. He's also supposed to meet with Governor Ron DeSantis today. Gas prices could go up even more after OPEC Plus nations say they'll be cutting production by 2 million barrels a day. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre says the president will be tapping into the strategic oil reserve as necessary.
At the president's direction, the Department of Energy will deliver another 10 million barrels from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve to the market next month as part of the historic 180 million barrel release the president ordered back in March.
Gas Buddy says the average for a gallon of regular in Indiana today is $4.14. That price has already gone up 14 cents from Monday. Purdue police say a student killed his roommate early this morning and then called 911.
So we are investigating this as a homicide of a Purdue student inside the residence hall, McCutcheon Hall.
Purdue Chief of Police Leslie Wheat says whatever happened between suspect Jimin Shah and the victim Varun Manish Shetta was unprovoked and senseless. Colts running back Jonathan Taylor will not play in tomorrow night's game against the Denver Broncos. Indianapolis announced this afternoon their star running back won't make the trip because of an ankle injury. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:34.
Do you get sinus infections, congestion, sinus pressure and pain, above your eyes, below your eyes, sinus headaches? You've gone to the doctor, you've visited urgent care over and over again, and it's always the same thing. I know. Let's try antibiotics and nasal sprays. But the sinus infections keep coming back. The good news? Relief is possible. How? A minimally invasive procedure done in the office of Indianapolis Sinus Center called balloon sinuplasty. Imagine the relief of not having to deal with your sinus infections anymore. Set an appointment today with Indianapolis Sinus Center and find out if balloon sinuplasty is the solution for you. Call 317-528-9650. 317-528-9650. That's 317-528-9650.
With traffic at 3:35, here's Matt Baer.
Delay on the northeast side, absolutely brutal. We have a crash eastbound 465 after I-69, now blocking 2 left lanes and stopping traffic back to Keystone Avenue for a 43-minute delay. It's rush hour. We have construction. It's going to take a while to flush this out and out of avoid altogether. Inbound 69 is slowing in because of that from 96th Street to 465. On the way to Shelbyville, eastbound 74 rolled semi approaching Acton, and this is blocking the right lane, causing traffic to stop past Post Road. Traffic sponsored by B Window. Right now, get a $2,000 energy savings credit, plus sale prices on energy-efficient B Window sidings and doors. No payment or interest for up to 24 months. That's favors B Window. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And here's the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Clouds increase for tonight. Low temperature of 50 degrees tomorrow. Spotty chance at a morning shower. Dry afternoon, partly cloudy. High temperature of 76 degrees. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox. On the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
And we're back. The Hammer and Nigel Show, 93 WIBC. Never take a L no more.
It is the Hammer and Nigel Show. I'm Jason Hammer, and let's go to the drivehubler.com hotline and bring on Tony Kennett, Chalkboard Review. Tony was a longtime educator here in Indianapolis, STEM educator with IPS. Tony, we got a number of places we can start here, but I saw that you retweeted someone that said that boys are struggling in school, and we need more male teachers. I'm going to need you to explain what you mean by this.
So the guy who tweeted that is actually the co-founder of Chalkboard Review, Daniel Buck. He's a fellow at Fordham Institute, really solid guy for education stuff. You can find him over at chalkboardreview.com. What he's talking about there is this increased amount of disengagement and also a lot of aggressive behavior that's coming forward out of a lot of young men in our schools. And what we've seen throughout history is that anytime the young men father figures are taken away or not present in the homes and in the lives of young men, they have a much harder time adapting, a much more difficult time growing. Psychologically, the results that we've seen is when there is not a strong father figure in a young man's life, that it is much more difficult for the individual to develop. And this is one of the reasons why, by the way, in the 20th century, that there was such a push for young men to do a time in the U.S. military, is that you would get a heavy dose of that aggressive father figure action from your drill sergeant and your officers. At least this was one of the pitches made during World War I and II, which is really interesting. And I am one of the people who thinks that, which is why I retweeted it, that there need to be more men in schools, in the classroom, because that father figure aspect is so needed. And there are some things that men are better at addressing. There are some things women are better at addressing. That's not a bad thing to say, that naturally there are some differences between men and women. And we can't, as a society, forsake the importance of men in a child's life.
Now, when you say you need men to almost be that de facto father figure, you're talking about predominantly from a discipline angle in the classroom, not some of these videos that we've seen coming from, Project Veritas or whatnot, where these teachers, male or female for that matter, are talking about their sex lives, they're talking about their love lives, they're talking about a lot of things that are probably inappropriate to talk about in a classroom.
I'm really glad that you brought that up, because this is a very important distinction to make. There is a much bigger difference between being the parent in place, which is not what I'm saying here by father figure. There are a lot of people in my life growing up that were father figures to me. That didn't mean that I shared intimate secrets with them that maybe I might only share with my own mother and father. No, this means a role model, a strong role model that you would look up to, that you would say, this individual is responsible. They care for their family. They care for my local community, and in the child's case being the classroom. And they also take on this personal responsibility to the betterment of those around him and the greater community at large. Dr. Jordan Peterson talks about this at length, and we've seen through a lot of psychoanalysis studies in the later half of the 20th century that taking away strong male role models out of society by labeling them toxic masculinity, as I know you love to embrace, by labeling it toxic masculinity, we are ripping away the growth opportunities of young men in our society. And that's why they're struggling, or one of the reasons why they're struggling so much in our modern school system. And this may be a silly question. I have kids in school. I know they've never had any classroom activity, classroom teachings about this. But in Indiana, and I guess around the country, do they still teach sex ed? Is that still a thing that happens? Oh, yeah. I mean, starting in fifth grade, they still, in a lot of schools, they sit everyone down and then you watch the video on puberty and whatever. And then, of course, health classes do touch on the reproductive system. And, of course, sex ed comes in eighth grade. And then, of course, we talk about it a little bit in biology class. I did when I was at Lawrence North, although I always tried to be extremely careful in how I did so that I didn't step on the rights of the parent to talk about certain things with their kids. That is the parent's right, in my view. And then, of course, you have anatomy and physiology. So, yeah, it's definitely still taught in schools. It's not taught properly very much anymore because there's such a political appeal to changing the definitions of good sex education to meaning, well, you should actually ignore biology to talk about all of these genders and weird sexual activities and how to pleasure yourself. That's not good sex ed. No. And this brings us to this story in the UK, and that's a great segue. Thank you for that, Tony. Anytime. A 6-year-old boy in the UK has been labeled
transphobic by his school. He's 6 years old. He's been labeled transphobic because he doesn't understand all of these different genders that are being thrown at him. He has a hard time understanding this. This is a story coming out of England, and the school has labeled him transphobic, and now his parents are lawyering up. Your thoughts on this?
Well, they very much should be lawyering up, because if you don't fight this, you're endearing yourself to the hell to which we're, joining in as a society. And Western civilization is facing this. When you start putting all of these horrific terminologies of moral pressure upon children at a young age, where you're going to label them as evil for responding naturally to biological situations, and you're suggesting that children are infinitely evil or horrible because the boy thinks that girls are girls and boys are boys, you are creating something far worse than could be possible. If you push someone far enough, they will respond in kind. And what I don't want to see over the next couple of decades in the United States and in Western civilization abroad is progressives push conservatives, libertarians, regular individuals far and farther and farthest until you start to get pushback that is far beyond what might be necessary. And so this is honestly what this brings to me is a true sense of terror, because it is destroying the very fabric of society by sacrificing children at the altar of politics. And it's a very dangerous precedent to set, because it does cause incredible political and societal upheaval.
And in case somebody's listening that's getting their panties in a wad, well, did you hear what they said on the Hammer and Nigel show? When you say fight back, when people like me say fight back, we're not talking about going into a back alley and hitting somebody with your fist. We're talking about going to the school board meetings, letting your opinions be heard, voting, researching. That's how you fight back.
Yes, and this is actually the point of the last couple of statements that I made, because if you do not at this point start to recognize that you have a responsibility as a citizen of a republic to be informed, to vote, to seek out the best candidates, and to stop these kind of garbage policies that are taxpayer funded, then you are going to let the progressives push and push and push until people end up reacting violently, which is what I want to avoid. I don't want to see parents pushed and pushed and pushed until their children are ripped out of their homes, which is what one Virginia group is advocating, ripping students who claim to be LGBTQ out of parents' homes and placed with quote unquote gay affirming parents. That is going to lead to violent situations. So please, I beg and I plead with the American public, take this seriously and put the right people in office and wake up as a society before people start resorting to horrible means that we should never, ever have to encounter.
Tony Kennett with us. Tony from Chalkboard Review. He's going to be filling in for Nigel tomorrow on this program, so we're going to have a good time tomorrow. Hey, one more thing before I let you go. And again, this was a big news story that came out late in the afternoon yesterday. It looks like Elon Musk is going to move forward with this purchase of Twitter. Whether he wants to or not, he's moving forward with the purchase. And I want to get your thoughts on that.
I love it. I love it because, number one, it makes all of the individuals who count on social media manipulation, which has been exposed repeatedly by whistleblowers on the inside of Twitter, as well as Facebook, Instagram, and other social media networks like Reddit. And that kind of manipulation does have a massive impact on things like elections. And now that that is threatened, you see a lot of people on the left that are having an absolute conniption. So first of all, that's funny. It's always funny to watch someone who had an unfair advantage get that advantage taken away from them. Number two, on the libertarian side of things, I love to see something more privatized, not by some large, awkward, shiftless mass of individuals, but by a guy who, quite frankly, as far as business terms are concerned, I respect. As a person, I respect the decision to move forward with the deal. And then finally, especially because, Twitter is where news breaks, I look forward to seeing an algorithm treating all individuals equally, meaning that the journalist who puts forward a good story will be more likely to get that story seen rather than if you're some random blue check verified MSNBC reporter with 300 followers, and then they'll amplify that story all to kingdom come. So I am really looking forward to the fairness aspect returning, because Twitter, I hate to break it to a lot of people, it's not going to be replaced with Truth Social or with Getter or with Parler or with Gab or with Telegram or any of the other networks. They just don't have the mass that Twitter does. Twitter has replaced cable news in a lot of society as where news breaks.
If anybody wants to read more of your work with Chalkboard Review or just to reach out to you individually with questions, what can they do?
They should head over to chalkboardreview.com. We have a lot of great resources there. It's also a way that you can get in touch and contact us. If you are a sadist and you just absolutely hate spending your time wisely, you can follow me on Twitter at @TheTonus, and my DMs are open. So if you want to tell me that you have a really great Rice Krispies recipe to share, drop it in.
And you'll be with me tomorrow, and we will bring toxic masculinity to the airwaves, 3 to 7 p.m., my friend.
Oh, I'll bring my dumbbells into the studio. You got it.
Tony, thank you.
Hey, thanks so much. Really enjoy doing this, man.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Hi, this is Jiffy Lube owner Steve Sanner. At Jiffy Lube, we are proud to support Hoosier charities and the volunteers who use their vehicles to do more to make Indiana a better place to live. In the past year, we've had the honor of recognizing many fellow Hoosiers who go above and beyond. Do you know someone who volunteers their time at a local animal shelter or leads a park cleanup or delivers meals to those who need a little extra help? If so, nominate them for the Jiffy Lube Do More program at jiffylubeindiana.com. Jiffy Lube of Indiana provides all of our Do More winners with free vehicle maintenance for a year. Because at Jiffy Lube, our trained technicians do more to keep your vehicle on the road. Brakes, tires, batteries, and more. Plus, we've been Indiana's favorite locally owned oil change since 1985. So visit jiffylube.com, do more to nominate someone in your community. That's jiffylube.com, do more.
There's a reason Comcast Business powers more businesses than any other provider. Actually, there's a few. Comcast Business offers the fastest, reliable network, the peace of mind that comes with Security Edge, helping to protect all your connected devices, and the most reliable 5G mobile network. Want me to keep going? I can. Whether your small business is starting or growing, you need Comcast Business. Technology solutions that put you ahead and give you serious savings. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Get Internet Security and Voice for just $40 per month for 12 months when you add mobile. Plus, get free installation and ask how to get a $500 prepaid card with a qualifying gig bundle. Ends 11/6/2022. Restrictions apply. Requires Eagle Bill and AutoPay. New Comcast Business 250 megabit per second internet. Security Edge and one voice line customers only. 2-year agreement required. Equipment taxes and other fees and subject to change. Must add mobile 90 days from internet install and keep all services for mobile discount. Comcast Business Mobile utilizes the network with the most RootMetrics 5G data reliability wins in 1H 2022. Results may vary. Award is not an endorsement.
Denny Smith for Sundown Gardens. The big fall sale is on until October 16th at Sundown Gardens. That means 20% off container trees and shrubs and 30% off all bald and burlapped evergreen and shade trees. The Kids Zone with the pumpkin launch is open every Saturday through Halloween weekend. Check out their 10 fall picture stations for photos with the family. Look up Sundown Gardens on Facebook and Instagram. 186th Street and Spring Mill Road, just west of Grand Park. SundownGardens.com. That's SundownGardens.com.
The roar of our engines, the pump of our heartbeats, the pedal to our metal, the sparks that ignite us, the pistons that push us, the passions that drive us. From the feelings that move us to the places that pull us on the roads that unite us. With nearly 6,000 stores and over 17,000 auto care centers, Napa has America's largest network of parts and care, here to keep you firing on all cylinders.
You forget something?
Yeah, listen, I'm not going to be able to pick up Braden tonight after practice.
Oh, did something come up at work?
Nah, not even going to make it in today.
Why? What's going on?
Well, I'm coming up on some construction in about a quarter mile. I've already started ignoring the signs. In a minute, I'll force my way through traffic while texting. I'll pull the wheel a little too far and drive right through the barrels where I'm going to hit a few workers. One of them is going to get killed, so then I'm going to be arrested and charged with vehicular manslaughter.
No one plans on having an accident, but you can plan to avoid one. Every year, dangerous, irresponsible driving in construction zones ruins lives. Crashes kill and injure road workers. Drivers end up paying thousands of dollars and even spend time in jail. When you're driving in a construction zone, read the signs. Slow down, save a life. We're all in this together.
A message from Indiana's District Council of Laborers International Union of North America and affiliated locals.
Right now, your home equity is at an all-time high, but don't wait. How much can you get? Let's find out today by visiting thehomeloanexpert.com.
B has more than white windows. B offers total design choices.
B lets you virtually design colors to match the character of your home.
Trust me.
Real quick housekeeping note. Brian Baker, Naptown Bry, scheduled to be the co-host today, having some technical issues. So we're going to try to get him on the phone coming up here about 4:30, and we'll do the breakdown with Brian Baker. Until then, Matt Bear, looks like it's just us. Me, you, and Mondo all hanging out together. What do you got for us?
Let's do it. Looking at eastbound 465, crash after I-69, and this is blocking two left lanes with traffic stopped all the way back to Westfield Boulevard. Delay is now at 79 minutes. Stay out of this. Inbound 69 jams at 96th Street to 465, and going to Shelbyville, rolled semi eastbound 74 approaching Acton. That's blocking the right lane. Stop the post. Traffic sponsored by B Window. Right now, get a $2,000 energy savings credit plus sale prices on energy-efficient B Window siding and doors. No payment or interest for up to 24 months. That's Favors B Window. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
77 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
And away we go. The Hammer and Nigel Show. 93 WIBC.
Don't stop, make it pop, DJ, blow my speakers up tonight.
So there's a new trend on TikTok, and it's debating about how you put shoes and socks on. Meanwhile, Twitter, they give you fights on politics. Facebook, there can be fights about all types of things. This is the content you get on TikTok. Now, I am not on TikTok. Hammer and Nigel Show are not on TikTok. Mondo, are you there?
I am on TikTok at Wellsmania.
So when you are scrolling through TikTok, you don't normally see the types of fights and the anger that you see on Facebook and Twitter, right?
No. TikTok is like where all the random stuff just goes and parties.
And random stuff is exactly what we're talking about here. So there's a big debate about the proper way that you put socks and shoes on. Now, according to the overwhelming majority of folks on TikTok, take that for what you will, the brain trust at TikTok, the most popular opinion seems to be sock, shoe, tie. So, according to TikTok, most people have said the proper way to get your socks on, your shoes on, and then tie them up, sock, shoe, tie. Now, I fall into the category of sock, shoe, tie. I get both shoes on before I tie the first one. Where are you?
I'm with you. You and I, we are doing the exact same thing there. Sock, shoe, tie.
So let me know where you are at with this. On Twitter, on Facebook. We got the YouTube going right now at Hammer and Nigel. What's the order? The most popular order, according to TikTok, is sock, shoe, tie. I'm sock, shoe, tie. Somebody just got in their car right now going, what in the blue hell is he talking about?
Are these codes? What are they speaking on the Hammer and Nigel Show?
Sound like a third base coach yelling outside. Sock, shoe, tie, come on now. Bucks on a pond, ducks on a pond. Let's go now. Big Knot Kid. Top stories coming up next.
AEG, in association with Turner Classic Movies, presents John Mellencamp. Live and in person, 2023. February 5th and 6th, Indiana University Auditorium. Tickets on sale Friday at 10 a.m. at mellencamp.com.
Hey, what's up? Hammer here for my pal Mark Deedle, Mark Deedle Realty. The Wall Street Journal reports home sales across the country are down an average of 20% from this time last year. So this is why it's so important to have an agent that you can develop trust with. Somebody that knows the game and knows how to win the game. And that is why we only trust Mark Dietl on the Hammer and Nigel show. It doesn't matter if you're moving away to another city, you just want to upsize to a bigger house. Mark Dietl is the man that can bring you the money. And really, that's what it's all about. Mark Dietl guarantees multiple offers in 3 days at full market value, or he will list it for free. That is the Mark Dietl guarantee. Call Mark Dietl today, 755-4232, or go to markdietl.com. That's Mark, D-I-E-T-E-L, markdietl.com. Tell him Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Hey, Becky, what about this beat for your next song?
It's cool, but I'm into faster stuff lately, like Xfinity that gives me beyond gig speeds.
Got it. What about this then?
It sounds powerful, just like Xfinity. Because its supersonic Wi-Fi has 3 times the bandwidth, you can connect hundreds of devices at once.
That's what I call power.
Unbeatable internet from Xfinity. Made to do anything so you can do anything.
Get the Xfinity Supersonic Bundle with unlimited gig speed internet, Wi-Fi equipment included, and a free 4K streaming box, all for $50 a month with a 2-year internet rate guarantee and no annual contract when you add Xfinity Mobile at regular rates. Go to xfinity.com/gig, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Limited time offer. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. New Gigabit Extra internet customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Xfinity Mobile requires post-pay Xfinity internet. After 24 months, regular rates apply. Requires compatible gateway.
From the very beginning, and every workday since, at every shift and every individual effort, we carry a common purpose, a common cause. It's a duty we proudly honor, knowing behind every product we build is your faith in us, dedicated to the craft of gun making, dedicated to your freedom, the quality, security, and the promise of this great country. Smith & Wesson, empowering Americans. Learn more at smith-wesson.com.
Accumulation, preservation, generation. At Busey Bank, these are the principles we use to build meaningful financial partnerships with our clients and their families. With sound advice and vast resources, partner with Busey for a personalized approach to your legacy. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868. Member FDIC.
My name is Sophie.
Sasha. Robert. Ron. And I'm alive thanks to my nurse practitioner.
My nurse practitioner saved me from a lifelong heart condition.
She prescribed the right medication. My NP diagnosed my multi-organ failure.
My NP listens.
She saved my life. Twice. And I will always be grateful.
To learn why millions of people choose NPs, visit us at wechoosenps.org.
Paid for by AANP.
Coming up in 2 minutes, a student was killed on Purdue's campus. Police are investigating the homicide, and why a Zionsville paramedic was handed an 8-year prison sentence. That's coming up after Fox News Radio from the Shepherd Community Center studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 4 o'clock.
President Biden gets a first-hand look at mass destruction in Florida. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.
We're here today because we wanted to tell you in person that we're thinking of you and we're not leaving. We're not leaving until this gets done. I promise you that.
After a helicopter ride over some of Hurricane Ian's worst damage, the president meeting with families and agencies helping them in Fort Myers.
And it's going to take a lot of time, not weeks or months. It's going to take years for everything to get squared away in the state of Florida, to fully recover and rebuild.
This at a joint news conference with Republican Governor Ron DeSantis. They have publicly criticized each other on many issues, but DeSantis is praising coordination at all levels of government in the storm response.
I think one of the things that you're seeing in this response, we are cutting through the bureaucracy. We are cutting through the red tape, and that's from local government, state government, all the way up to the president. So we appreciate the team effort.
The governor announcing earlier today, Pine Island now has access to to the mainland again with a temporary bridge. And he says Florida's disaster relief fund, launched last week, has raised over $35 million for charities helping with storm relief. An OPEC decision to cut oil production fuels more debate about the U.S. supply.
He is directing the Secretary of Energy to explore any additional responsible actions to continue increasing domestic production, which is on track to break a historic record next year.
White House spokeswoman Karine Jean-Pierre says the president will also release another 10 million barrels from the strategic reserve next month. Republicans say his policies are holding back energy investment. A choppy day on Wall Street. The Dow finishing down 41 points at the closing bell, snapping a two-day winning streak, but rallying from a triple-digit drop earlier today. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Why police were at Purdue this morning. Clear skies and 76 degrees in downtown Indy. You've got a clear radar, too. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:02. Purdue student Jimin Shah called campus police this morning to tell them his roommate was dead. Detectives say it's a homicide.
The victim's name is Varun Manish Chetta.
Purdue Chief of Police Leslie Wheat says Shah is charged with the murder of his roommate, Varun Manish Chetta. An autopsy says Chetta's cause of death was from several stab wounds. Police haven't shared a motive, but say the killing was unprovoked. A Zionsville paramedic will spend 8 years in prison for having and distributing child pornography. 48-year-old Daniel Stevens pled guilty to child porn charges, says the Department of Justice. He worked as a firefighter paramedic in Zionsville and also worked for a hospital in Indianapolis. Stevens will be on probation for 10 years after his time is up behind bars. A woman was killed outside of a liquor store this weekend, and police believe they've caught the killer. Parker Carlson reports.
In the middle of the night outside of a liquor store corner on Michigan Street and Rural Road, Sabrina Travis was found laying on the sidewalk with a gunshot wound. Medics tried giving her life-saving aid, but she was pronounced dead at the scene. Wednesday, IMPD says that they've caught the suspect. They credit their investigation to public safety cameras like license plate readers, but also help from the community. Officers, knowing the beat they patrol, were able to find the suspect, Ronnie Smith, and arrest him for reckless homicide and criminal recklessness. Parker Carlson, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
A cold front is moving into Indiana soon.
We're expecting a pretty widespread frost throughout the region both days this weekend.
Meteorologist Matt Eckhoff with the National Weather Service expect low temperatures to be in the 30s and 40s over the next few days. The Indiana Pacers begin preseason play tonight. Head coach Rick Carlisle says the preseason is all about balance.
We're going to try to get a lot of guys minutes. At the same time, we're going to be aggressive with playing our main guys, and being real competitive.
The Pacers take on the Charlotte Hornets tonight at 7. The regular season begins in 2 weeks. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:04.
Midterm elections are just around the corner, and you might have questions like, what should I be doing with my money now? Or, what could happen in the stock market if my side doesn't win? Join Edelman Financial Engines on Tuesday, October 11th at 2 p.m. or 8 p.m. Eastern for our brand new webinar, The Elections in Your Portfolio, Separating Fact from Fiction. You can register now at efewebinar.com. You'll learn how the midterm election results can impact the stock market based on decades of market data. And you'll learn how to help position your portfolio for the elections and beyond. Don't miss this important and timely webinar. Join us for The Elections and Your Portfolio, Separating Fact from Fiction, on Tuesday, October 11th at 2 p.m. or 8 p.m. Eastern. There's no cost to attend and no obligation. Register now at efewebinar.com. That's efewebinar.com. Edelman Financial Engines. From here forward.
With traffic on the 5s at 4:05, here's Matt Baer.
All right, Harrison, completely stopped on the northeast side. Bad delay. Eastbound 465 crash after 69. And 2 left lanes are blocked. We're trying to make our way through a work zone through rush hour. Traffic is stopped back to Westfield Boulevard for a delay on 73 minutes. Also, crash going to Shelbyville. It's a rolled semi. Eastbound 74 approaching Acton. Right lane is blocked. Stop traffic back to Post Road. Inbound 65 jams at 25. 1st to downtown. Traffic sponsored by Comcast Business. Start saving with Comcast Business Mobile, all on the most reliable 5G network. Most reliable based on route metrics. U.S. report results vary, not an endorsement. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And here's the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Tonight's forecast will call for clouds to slowly increase throughout the night. Low temperatures will be around 50 degrees, which is slightly warmer than previous nights. Tomorrow, a spotty chance of a shower in the morning. The afternoon will turn partly cloudy. High temperatures in the mid-70s. Tomorrow night, a cold front crosses central Indiana. Low temperatures back into the mid-40s. Friday, much cooler air in the forecast, mostly sunny and breezy. High temperatures in the upper 50s. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox. On the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
On 93 WIBC. So let's rock
it! It is the Hammer and Nigel show. Big Nige is out with anal leakage, so we are driving this bad boy alone. It's me, Mondo, Matt Bear, all your favorite radio pals. We're still here. Brian Baker will be along at 4:35 for a breakdown. That's coming up. But I got some interesting information today. There's a new report out on good guys with guns. So think about what happened at the Greenwood Park Mall. Eli Dicken. His attorney is, of course, our very own Guy Relford, the gun guy. We've mentioned this multiple times. That's a situation where a good guy with a gun eliminated the threat of a bad guy with a gun. Now, there were still some fatalities in that horrific mall shooting. But had it not been for the heroic actions of Eli Dicken, there could have been a lot more deaths in that case. So a new report from the Crime Prevention Research Center states that the FBI may be undercounting those instances where a good, law-abiding citizen with a weapon has eliminated a threat. They argue that the FBI's data contains massive errors when tracking active shooting incidents, undercounting how often armed citizens have thwarted active shooting situations over the last 8 years. Now, again, we say this quite a bit. When we talk about the FBI, we're talking about the top of the food chain here. We're not talking about the guy sitting here in the Indianapolis office or wherever you may live. Your local agents are usually pretty different from the folks that are at the very top of the food chain here. Although collecting such data is always met with challenges, right? Because somebody has to dictate what an active threat is, who the good guy was with a gun, did they have it legally? There's a lot of things going on here, but there is a pattern of distortion in the FBI numbers because the errors almost exclusively go one way. And this just kind of goes to show that the upper echelon of the FBI, they are completely in bed with some of these radical leftists that have power in our country right now. They're minimizing the life-saving actions of armed citizens, according to this report, which was provided to Fox News by the Crime Prevention Research Center. John Lotz is the founder of that center. He was the one that gave the report to Fox News. So here's a little bit of a breakdown for you. Data released by nonprofits show that 34.4% of active shootings were stopped by armed citizens between 2014 and 2021. 34.4%. However, the FBI's data only shows 4.4% of active shootings that were stopped by armed citizens during that time. That's a pretty big discrepancy. So if you were going to tell me that one agency says 34.4 and another one says 26, okay, we can have that debate. There may be a few instances where the numbers could be debated, but 34.4 to 4.4. There's a difference by 30% here. And if you're asking me who I trust more, the FBI or the Crime Prevention Research Center, I don't know a damn thing about the Crime Research Prevention Center, but I'm telling you right now, I trust them more than these folks at the top of the FBI. Now, speaking of guns, big story this afternoon. Alec Baldwin has reached an undisclosed settlement in a wrongful death lawsuit filed by the family of Helena Hutchins, the cinematographer who was killed on the movie set last year. The movie was called Rust. And Alec Baldwin, who claimed in December that he did not pull the trigger, settled today. He put out a statement on social media, quote, "Throughout this difficult process, everyone has maintained the specific desire to do what is best for Helena's son. We are grateful to everyone who contributed to the resolution of this tragic and painful situation." Now, we spoke to an attorney last week, high-profile attorney who said the heat was starting to come on to Alec Baldwin. They were expecting some sort of charges. We didn't know what the charges would be, if it's second-degree murder, if it's manslaughter, whatever the case may be. But the heat was coming down. So the timing of this makes a lot of sense. Alec Baldwin wanted to settle this. The amount is undisclosed, but I can promise you, it was a crap ton. Ho! This dude paid to have this story go away. He paid to not go to prison. Because I don't care what he says in December, guns just don't go off. Right? Even prop guns don't just go off. So the settlement has been made, and they're going to start production on that movie again coming up at the end of this year or the beginning of next year. I'm wondering how many people are going to go see that movie once it finally gets made and comes out, just out of curiosity. I know they're not going to show any of the fatal footage in there, but knowing that that was the movie they were working on when Helena lost her life, I don't know. It feels like that's a project that probably just should have been scrapped. I'm not a Hollywood director. I'm not a producer. I'll ask Brian Baker about this coming up at 4:30. He works on movie sets as a stuntman. This wasn't some major blockbuster where they felt compelled to move forward on. This was kind of one of those low-budget films. I mean, hell, look who their star was, Alec Baldwin. So I'm curious to find out his thoughts if he thinks this movie should move forward or not, but the settlement has been made. So, looking at some information here about salaries. Again, what's great about this job is whether it's Nige, whether it's myself, we come into work every day and everybody sends us a lot of information. It's a survey here. It's a data piece here. We got some information about wage gaps. Now, we can have the debate about whether you think men make more than women. Is that fair? Is that right? Some would argue men do jobs that are substantially more dangerous, that require more strength than women. Some would make that case. But with new laws from Colorado to Rhode Island, employers are now kind of feeling the pressure to publicly share how much a job pays to make sure that men and women are not being given separate amounts for the same job. So last week, California became the latest state to join this push for salary transparency when Gavin Newsom was signing every single bill that came to his desk, apparently. They're not the first state to require this. Colorado, Rhode Island, they also have something like this. So my question to you is, how comfortable do you feel if your place of employment put your salary out there? They probably wouldn't put your name on it, but they would put your job title out there. You feel good about that? You like that? Is that a place you would want to work, or does that make the position more desirable? Do you know you're going to get more of a fair shake here? And again, this goes into the argument of whether or not you believe there are major discrepancies between salaries of men and women. That's a debate for a whole new time. But would you be down with having your place of employment put your salary out there. I don't think I'm down with that. I don't think that's something I can get with, but you can hit us up on social media at Hammer and Nigel, Facebook, Twitter. We are on the YouTube chat. Matt Bear is in the WIBC Traffic Center.
Up on the northeast side, we are stopped eastbound 465 Westfield Boulevard past 69 because of a crash blocking 2 left lanes. Delay is under an hour now, but that's still a long time to work through the work zone and deal with rush hour. Then going to Shelbyville eastbound 74 crash approaching Acton. It's a rolled semi-trailer blocking the right lane, stopped past Post Road. Traffic sponsored by InvisibleFence.com. Invisible Fence brands exclusive technology, makes their containment systems the most advanced on the market, giving your pet freedom and you confidence in their safety. Visit InvisibleFence.com to schedule your free consultation. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
On the YouTube chat, the great Malenko says, I'm glad they didn't scrap The Crow when Brandon Lee died. Okay, point made. I understand that. But with this movie, Rust, it just feels like it's such a low budget. You know, look at the people they had working on that set. Look who their star was. The Crow was going to be like a big movie. There's some promotional element behind it. This looks like one of those bad, cheesy westerns. They were just rushing out there to do it. An easy payday for Alec Baldwin. So we'll talk to Brian Baker about this coming up at 4:30. Right now, 77 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. And when we come back, Mega freaking Mondo and myself, TK Dub, and myself, the Kyle Wells, and every other damn name you have, we are going to play Is This Anything?
Need to beat inflation? Golden Oak Lending is here to help.
Inflation has credit card balances at an all-time high. Why pay up to 25% interest when Golden Oak can pay off that debt at 5.75% fixed?
Our low mortgage rates make you the winner.
Call 317-706-GOLD to lock in your 5.75% rate today.
Golden Oak Lending cured my blues.
NMLS 114937. 5.75% fixed, 6.991% APR. FHA 15-year mortgage with 20% equity and approved credit.
Hammer and Nigel here for our good friends, your local, independent, American Standard heating and air conditioning dealers, all of Central Indy. Listen, life is tough. Life is hard. You've got enough serious things to worry about. The last thing you should ever worry about is your heating and air conditioning systems. And when you work with the best, you don't have to worry about that. And this is where your local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealers come into play, like Reinhardt Heating and Cooling in Danville. Danny Reinhardt started Reinhardt Heating and Cooling over 35 years ago. They are one of the longest tenured American Standard dealers in all of Central Indy. Danny's sons and daughter are among the well-trained experts that are on staff at Reinhardt Heating and Cooling right now. Reinhardt Heating and Cooling, serving Hendricks and the surrounding counties. Get that furnace safe and ready, and more important than ever, get that indoor air quality service. 317-745-4526. That's 745-4526 for Reinhardt Heating and Cooling in Danville. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
From the beginning to the bell ringing and on to bigger, better things, Franciscan Health's cancer specialists in Indiana and Illinois provide care before, during, and beyond your treatment. We get to know you, your family, and sometimes even your pets. We are dedicated to fighting your cancer because your life matters. For advanced treatments, clinical trials, nurse navigators, and compassionate teams of experts who specialize in every cancer type, make an appointment at franciscanhealth.org/cancercare.
Do you get sinus infections, congestion, sinus pressure and pain, above your eyes, below your eyes, sinus headaches? You've gone to the doctor, you've visited urgent care over and over again, and it's always the same thing. Oh, I know. Let's try antibiotics and nasal sprays. But the sinus infections keep coming back. The good news? Relief is possible. How? A minimally invasive procedure done in the office of Indianapolis Sinus Center, called balloon sinuplasty. Imagine the relief of not having to deal with your sinus infections anymore. Set an appointment today with Indianapolis Sinus Center and find out if balloon sinuplasty is the solution for you. Call 317-528-9650. 317-528-9650. 317-528-9650. That's 317-528-9650.
Hey, what's up? Hammer from Hammer and Nigel here. You know you can't control the stock market. 1 minute it's down. Then Elon Musk does something. Next thing it's up. It's up. It's down. You can't control the market. You can't control inflation or interest rates or the price of a barrel of oil or a loaf of bread, but you can choose to plan for your future. And this is where the Singer Financial Group comes in. Located in Central Indy, in Brownsburg, the Singer Financial Group, they want to customize a plan specific for you and whatever your visions of the next 10, 20 years are. Do you want full-on retirement? Do you want a work optional lifestyle? Do you want to move somewhere warm for the winter? Do you want to stay in Indy? Whatever your visions are, the Singer Financial Group will come up with a plan specifically for you. Every plan is different when you work with the Singer Financial Group. 317-852-9153 or go to singerfinancialgroup.com.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by thehomeloanexpert.com.
Hammer and Nigel presents
It depends upon what the meaning of the word is.
Is this anything? On 93 WIBC.
With Big Nige being out, TK Dub, next man up. Just like Jonathan Taylor, not available for the Colts tomorrow, he's officially out. That means the next man up. Nyheim Hines will start at running back. You, my friend, you're the next man up, and you're going to play Is This Anything? Are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's get those fantasy points.
Is this anything? Listen as a first responder gets kind of fed up and ticked off with two women who are more intent on making a YouTube video and making YouTube content than the matter at hand. One of them took a dare and got stuck in a dryer. He's trying to get her out, but they're not really helping him.
Here we go. I'm going to lift you up again.
Okay. Oh my God.
Can you...
Cindy, I'm putting this on the internet. No. Yes. I'm going to put this on YouTube right now.
We can get you out, okay?
Let her head come out.
No, we can't.
Let me see your head.
Okay.
Dude, you're never doing a dare again.
Ladies,
yeah,
I don't think you understand that you will be paying for this 911 call. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to do my job here. Now get your feet back out, ma'am. Wrap them in this towel right here against the back wall. You ready for this?
Get her out.
Okay.
She's
here we
been
go.
in there for here she
right
comes.
Here,
right
here.
She comes.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah,
Ready?
let's
1,
do it. Oh
2.
my gosh, don't hurt her. Don't hurt her.
Okay.
Here she comes.
Oh. Yep.
Yeah.
So this first responder is legitimately trying to rescue somebody here, and mom and daughter think this is cute, and they don't understand the severity of the situation. Is this anything?
This is definitely something. I mean, this guy's doing his job. This is what he gets paid to do, and then you got these two jabronis that just want to go viral. And it just seems like nowadays everybody will do anything to get clicks on their videos. But if you're legit stuck, I mean, the guy's there to help you. So do whatever you can, be cooperative with the responder, and allow him to get you out unstuck. But clearly, they just wanted to make a viral video here.
Like at some point, I'm waiting for the first responder to just leave. You know what? Screw it.
Yeah, whatever.
Screw you guys. Stay in the damn dryer. I'm going to leave. Gets in his vehicle and leaves. And besides, if you want to go viral with your washing machine or your dryer, you don't get inside. You make music with it. And that brings us to great moments and a washing machine and dryer history. This was some hillbilly that decided he wanted to put a bunch of clothes in his washing machine, turn it on the spin cycle, and he was going to sing along to it with The Devil Went Down to Georgia.
Now you play pretty good fiddle, boy, but give the devil his due. I'm gonna fiddle the gold against your soul, 'cause I think I'm better than you. The boy said
he brought us guitar.
That might be a sin, but I'll take your bet you're gonna regret, 'cause I'm the best he's ever been. Johnny rounding up your
yeah!
Now that's creativity right there.
Not to be outdone, there was another hillbilly that put his washing machine on the spin cycle, brought a guitar over, and he did a kick-ass version of Thunderstruck. And he's got a hammer and he's beating it with it.
I was caught in the middle of a railroad track.
Good pipes.
Great moments in washing machine and dryer history. Kyle, is this anything? Some woman and her pet parrot recorded themselves doing the song Creep from Radiohead.
I don't care if it hurts. I wanna have it all.
That's her parrot.
I want a perfect body. And I want a perfect soul. I'm a creep. I'm a weirdo.
Is this anything, Mondo?
This is everything. Animals are so smart. Animals are so intelligent. And in this case, animals are more talented than humans. This is everything, Hammer.
I love the parrot knows its role.
Yeah.
It's backup vocals. It wasn't trying to step on the lady doing the main vocals. The parrot knew its role.
That's a well-trained parrot right there.
Which brings us to great moments in parrot history. My favorite parrot of all time was the one that somebody taught it to say, WTF. Great moments in parrot history. One more here. Yankee slugger Aaron Judge hit the American League record-breaking 60-second home run last night.
Here's the 1-1. Swung on. There it goes. Deep left. It is high. It is far. It is gone. Number 62 to set the new American League record. Aaron Judge hits his 62nd. All the Yankees out of the dugout to greet him. Just think of it. 3 Yankee right fielders. The Babe hitting 60 and 27. The Jolly Roger hitting 61 and 61. And now Aaron Judge hits his 62nd home run, the most home runs any American leaguer has hit in a single season.
Now, the guy that caught that record-breaking home run, Kyle, says he doesn't know what he wants to do with the ball. It's a guy by the name of Corey Humans. He probably doesn't need the money. He's vice president at Fisher Investments, which manages $197 billion worldwide.
Yeah, he definitely does not need the money. So that might be a really cool souvenir. But Aaron Judge, you're still 11 home runs away from the home run king. Barry Bonds, 73. Yeah, 62 is cool and all, but talk to me when you get 74 and you break Barry Bonds, his single-season home run record.
Or talk to me when you inject yourself with enough drugs to where you could hit 80.
I knew that was coming.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
When you can't stop, there's Vicks VapoRub. Vicks VapoRub sends powerful medicated Vicks vapors right to the source of your... so you can experience cough relief and breathe easier. Generations of families have trusted Vicks VapoRub to help relieve the worst cold symptoms. So next time you have a cough, reach for the Vicks VapoRub. Vicks VapoRub. Cough relieving is believing.
Hammer here for Indy's hometown sportsbook, Bet Rivers. Bet Rivers, Indiana. If you don't have the app, download it right now onto your phone. Whether you have an iPhone or an Android, you can get Bet Rivers, Indiana. Tomorrow, the Colts, Denver, prime time football. Denver is a 3.5-point favorite. The over-under is down to 42. Something to think about. That's an awful low total. Get those bets in right now at Bet Rivers, Indiana. And the reason I love Bet Rivers, they always have fun promotions going on. Baseball playoffs getting ready to go underway. Right now, if you make a wager on the team that you think is going to win the World Series, even if they don't win it, but they win a couple of playoff series along the way, you get some free bets back. based on how many series they win. They're always doing little things like that to keep the players coming back. They engage with the audience that comes back and plays every day, and that's why I love Bet Rivers. Bet Rivers, Indiana. Must be a resident of Indiana, 21 and over. And if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
$111,000. Would you be upset if you lost $111,000? I know I would be. Get this. 96% of Americans lose an average of $111,000 in Social Security income. And it's because they claim their benefits at the wrong time. But you could avoid this with a free Social Security analysis from Bill Demery right here in Indy. He knows Social Security like the back of his hand. This free analysis will teach you exactly when you file for your benefits, so you don't leave one thin dime on the table. If you've saved at least $200,000 and have not filed for Social Security, schedule your free analysis now by calling 317-972-9172. That's 317-972-9172. 317-972-9172.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
A student killed at Purdue. 77 degrees and sunny in downtown Indianapolis. All clear on the radar. Lows into the 50s tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:32. Purdue police say a student killed his roommate early this morning and then called 911.
So we are investigating this as a homicide of a Purdue student inside the residence hall, McCutcheon Hall.
Purdue Chief of Police Leslie Wheat says whatever happened between suspect Jimin Shah and the victim, Varun Manish Chetta, was unprovoked and senseless. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis says a temporary bridge to Pine Island should be completed this afternoon.
And I know the county's going to have people out here to kind of make sure, but just go easy on this thing. You know, this is not like 60 miles an hour because they had to do this very quickly. But I think it's an impressive effort.
The bridge to the island was damaged during Hurricane Ian. DeSantis says the temporary bridge will allow more recovery teams to get over to the island to help restore power and bring in more supplies. Indiana's National Guard is being reimbursed $130,000 by the state of Florida. That's roughly what it cost the group of more than a dozen soldiers to fly helicopters to Alabama before the state said they didn't need their help with hurricane relief. You might see gas prices go up in the coming days after OPEC Plus nations say they'll be cutting oil production by 2 million barrels a day. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre says the president has a plan.
He is directing the Secretary of Energy to explore any additional responsible actions to continue increasing domestic production, which is on track to break a historic record next year.
Jean-Pierre says the president will also ask oil companies to close the gap between wholesale and resale prices. A cold front expected to move through Indiana the next few days.
Could be a little breezy behind the cold front with winds around gusting to around 25 miles per hour, but the main story is how cold it might be.
Matt Eckhoff with the National Weather Service. He says you'll probably see some frost in the mornings. Your stock report today, the Dow down 42 points to 30,273. The NASDAQ dropping 27 points to 11,148. And the S&P 500 down 7 points to 3,783. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:34.
Oh, McDonald's sounds pretty good. Especially since a double cheeseburger and small fry is only $3. That might be the move. Wait, a 6-piece McNuggets and small fry is also just $3? Tempting. But then the Daily Double is just $3 too. Sheesh. I guess good things do come in threes. Except any size Coke. That's only $1. Prices and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any of the offer or combo meal.
How about we grab a picnic and hang out by the lake?
How about we go for a walk?
How about we play tennis?
Looking for people who just want to do something fun? Find them on Our Time, the #1 site made for singles over 50. It's easy to use and easy to find people who love doing the same things you do. From gardening to wine tasting to just going for a bike ride. Because even doing the simple things are better together. Start for free today on ourtime.com.
With traffic at 4:35, here's Matt Baer.
Eastbound 74 rolled semi heading to Shelbyville. That is before Acton Road, blocking the right lane. Traffic stopped at Post Road. And the delay just brutal on the northeast side right now. It's eastbound 465 after I-69 near 71st. 2 left lanes are blocked with traffic stopped all the way back to Meridian. 68-minute delay, I've been told. And we're talking about minor injuries in this. Somebody's being checked out for foot pain, and that's where we're at right now. Inbound 69 stop 96th Street to 465. Traffic sponsored by B Window. Right now, get a $2,000 energy savings credit plus sale prices on energy efficient B Window sidings and doors. No payment or interest for up to 24 months. That's Faber's B Window. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Clouds increase for tonight. Low temperature of 50 degrees tomorrow. Spotty chance at a morning shower. Dry afternoon, partly cloudy. High temperature of 76 degrees. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox. On the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Shake down, break down, take down. Everybody wants into the crowd tonight.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show on 93 WIBC.
Oh, let's go to the drivehubler.com hotline, and I'll be a monkey's bare-assed uncle. We've actually connected with Brian Baker.
Hey, how you doing, man? You guys were so gracious. You promoted my appearance today. Folks were all excited, and I can tell how beloved I am by the WIBC audience and how disappointed I was, everyone was, by the outpouring of one who said, hey, what happened? I thought you were supposed to be on today.
You were supposed to be the goose to my Maverick today, my wingman, but there was some sort of technical glitch. And
There was, and, I did. I got a very nice email from a regular listener to the show. He said, man, I was really disappointed. I was hoping to hear you on the show today. And I said, well, thank you, Mr. Liggins, and, I'll be on another time, I'm sure.
That's such a good inside joke right there. I see what you did. Now, for those who don't know, you're not in Indy. The reason that you couldn't be in studio is you live in Georgia, and this is one of the key battleground states. So let's get into it here, because the control of the Senate could come down to what happens in Georgia. And just from an outsider's perspective here, Brian, it looks like this has not been a real good week for Herschel Walker.
Yeah, well, let's kind of give everybody a quick overview here. Herschel Walker here, just within the last couple of days, he's a big proponent of banning abortion in all cases, including incest, even life of the mother. Well, now the news comes out that he allegedly, an alleged ex-girlfriend, he allegedly had her go ahead and get an abortion, and then allegedly wrote her a check for going through the trouble of doing that. And I use alleged, which is, it's a legal term for he totally did this. And so people are outraged now. They're calling him a hypocrite. And, of course, now they are hoping that folks will switch their vote. I don't think it's going to have a big impact in the race. Whether you are a Republican or Democrat, I think both parties are pretty much on the same page when it comes to Herschel Walker, which is that the guy's not very smart. He's there in that position running for Senate because he has the celebrity backing, and people know who he is, and that's why they put him in that spot. And frankly, he's running for a position in the Senate. This isn't president, and this is about the balance of power in Washington. And so you have to prioritize, and I think most Americans are so frustrated, so disenchanted, and really just broken at this point with what Democrats have done and what Democrat policies have done to the country, that they're just looking at this point to preserve the republic and get things back to a sense of normalcy and try and rebuild. So I don't think any of this matters. I will say that I think the Herschel Walker campaign has done a terrible job with this, because they have had so many opportunities to take the attack ads that Raphael Warnock's campaign has put out against him and twist them around and use it to beat up his campaign. They went after Herschel Walker for his battle with mental health issues. I mean, we've heard nothing from both sides of the party, but of the of the political aisle about how we need to address mental health in this country. And now we've got Raphael Warnock. He's trying to, shame Herschel Walker for being very open about his battles with that. We need more people to be talking about this and seeking help, not hiding in shame and dealing with these issues on their own where they're white-knuckling it. But even this abortion issue, what a tremendous opportunity for him to say, you know what, I went through this, and it was a shameful experience, and it was painful. It was painful for me. It was painful for the mother. And so it cemented my belief that we should not have people just getting abortions just at will and using it as another means of birth control. This is something that should really be limited. And I don't understand why his campaign is failing to address any of these issues and go on the attack. I mean, they just are lame. All of that said, as much as the guy sucks, he's still going to wind up winning the election, in my opinion, because folks just want a Republican in Washington, and they want the balance of power to shift.
Now, I've seen a couple polls lately that show Warnock might actually be ahead, but that's if you buy into polling at all to begin with. You said something earlier that I found to be really interesting, Brian. So the perception of Herschel Walker is great football player, might not be very smart. Look at the lunatic that he's running against, Raphael Warnock. It's not like you're talking about Socrates on the other side of the aisle here. This guy is a complete lunatic.
Yeah, he is. And, they were supposed to have a debate, which, I was going to be breaking out the popcorn and the beer for that one. That was going to be fascinating television. I don't know if that's going to go through or not. But, polling down here has been back and forth, and it always depends on who's actually doing the polling, but I think he's going to pull it out. And everyone that I've talked to, I'm very well connected now in the community with people that are in the political scene, and all of them are saying the exact same thing behind the scenes. This guy's not too bright. He doesn't have a firm grasp of the issues. I wish he'd just keep his mouth shut because it's so embarrassing, but I'm still voting for him.
Brian Baker joining us from Georgia, doing the breakdown here on the Hammer and Nigel show. Your good buddy, your euchre partner, Stacey Abrams, it looks like she's about to lose again to the same guy she got beat by the last time, to which she never really accepted the loss to begin with. Man, this has got to be a real ego slam if Stacey Abrams goes down in flames again to Brian Kemp.
Yeah, it is not looking good for her, and praise God for that, man. Look, Kemp has done a phenomenal job running this state. Everyone down here is very, very pleased with his leadership. And the fact is, man, I see when I'm filming and I'm in downtown Atlanta, I still see the occasional Stacey Abrams sign out front in people's yards. But people are happy with what he's done with the state. It was a controversial decision. Georgia was one of the first states to open up. They took a lot of heat for that, but really it was beneficial to our economy, and we weathered it just fine. Just again here, Brian Kemp dealing with this issue of gas prices going up. He has extended the suspension of our state gas tax. People are embracing that. And economically, Georgia has done really well under his leadership. So, he's well known. People are happy with the job that he's done as our governor. And when the Democrats Association, the Democrats are pulling money out of Georgia. They were doing that a good 30 to 60 days ago and redirecting it to Arizona, where they feel like they've got more of a fighting chance. So, yeah, I think they've thrown in the towel on Stacey Abrams, and thank God for that, man, because, we just got settled down here in Georgia. I didn't want to have to move again, and if Stacey Abrams become elected, my gosh.
Hey, can you stick around for one more segment?
Yeah, absolutely, man.
All right, because there's a couple of things I want to get your opinion on, including the settlement from Alec Baldwin and the shooting on the set of the movie Rust. You are a man that works on movie sets. You're a stunt man, so I want to get your thoughts on that. Plus, Elon Musk buying Twitter. Is this going to be something that we can turn our attentions to? Is this really anything, as a little game we play on this show would say? So stick around. Brian Baker doing the breakdown. He's coming right back. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
When treating patients with cancer, there's no such thing as too much teamwork. At Community Health Network MD Anderson Cancer Center, your circle of support includes a team of multiple specialists working together to treat your specific type of cancer. There's no better way to put together a treatment plan, and there's no other place to get this level of care in the region.
Learn more about Community MD Anderson at ecommunity.com/cancer.
Midterm elections are just around the corner, and you might have questions like, what should I be doing with my money now? Or, what could happen in the stock market if my side doesn't win? Join Edelman Financial Engines on Tuesday, October 11th at 2 p.m. or 8 p.m. Eastern for our brand new webinar, The Elections in Your Portfolio, Separating Fact from Fiction. You can register now at efewebinar.com. You'll learn how the midterm election results can impact the stock market based on decades of market data. And you'll learn how to help position your portfolio for the elections and beyond. Don't miss this important and timely webinar. Join us for The Elections and Your Portfolio, Separating Fact from Fiction, on Tuesday, October 11th at 2 p.m. or 8 p.m. Eastern. There's no cost to attend and no obligation. Register now at efewebinar.com. That's efewebinar.com. Edelman Financial Engines. From here forward.
There's a reason Comcast Business powers more businesses than any other provider. Actually, there's a few. Comcast Business offers the fastest, reliable network, the peace of mind that comes with Security Edge, helping to protect all your connected devices, and the most reliable 5G mobile network. Want me to keep going? I can. Whether your small business is starting or growing, you need Comcast Business. Technology solutions that put you ahead and give you serious savings. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Get internet security and voice for just $40 per month for 12 months when you add mobile. Plus, get free installation and ask how to get a $500 prepaid card with a qualifying gig bundle. Ends 11/6/2022. Restrictions apply. Requires Eagle Bill and AutoPay. New Comcast Business 250 megabit per second internet. Security Edge and one voice line customers only. 2-year agreement required. Equipment taxes and other fees and subject to change. Must add mobile 90 days from internet install and keep all services for mobile discount. Comcast Business Mobile utilizes the network with the most RootMetrics 5G data reliability wins in 1H 2022. Results may vary. Award is not an endorsement.
Hubler has it, savings. Hubler has it, choices.
Hubler really does have it all. All of our pre-owned vehicles are Hubler Q certified, which include a 128-point vehicle inspection, a free Carfax vehicle history report, and 2 warranties. A 2-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, and a 30-day, 1,000-mile comprehensive warranty. Visit any of our 13 locations today, or click drivehubler.com.
Hubler has it all.
From the very beginning, and every workday since, at every shift and every individual effort, we carry a common purpose, a common cause. It's a duty we proudly honor, knowing behind every product we build is your faith in us, dedicated to the craft of gun making, dedicated to your freedom, equality, security, and the promise of this great country. Smith & Wesson, empowering Americans. Learn more at smith-wesson.com.
The roar of our engines, the pump of our heartbeats, the pedal to our metal, the sparks that ignite us, the pistons that push us, the passions that drive us. From the feelings that move us to the places that pull us on the roads that unite us. With nearly 6,000 stores and over 17,000 auto care centers, Napa has America's largest network of parts and care, here to keep you firing on all cylinders.
If you have questions about buying a home or if you're ready to get pre-approved, everything starts today at thehomeloanexpert.com.
NMLS number 1326241.
The big fall sale is on till October 16th at Sundown Gardens. 20 to 50% off all nursery items and perennials in stock. 186th Street and Spring Mill Road.
Bee has more than white windows. Bee offers total design choices.
Bee lets you virtually design colors to match the character of your home.
Trust me.
Matthew McConaughey, what's going on?
All right. Eastbound 465 crash after 69, blocking 2 left lanes. Delay is awful back to Meridian Street. Stop to Meridian Street for 41 minutes. Also eastbound 74 to Shelbyville. That is a crash. And it's approaching Acton Road. Right lane is blocked as a semi-trailer rolled traffic backed up past Post Road. Traffic sponsored by B Window. Right now get a $2,000 energy savings credit plus sale prices on energy efficient B Window sidings and doors. No payment or interest for up to 24 months. That's favors B Window. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for Instagram instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
77 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show. I'm Jason Hammer. Big Nige is out today. Naptown Bry on Twitter. Brian Baker, host, former writer here at WIBC, joining us on the drivehubler.com hotline. I forgot to mention stuntman. You've got like a million job titles, but stuntman on big Hollywood blockbusters definitely needs to be on there. You're the real star of some big upcoming action movies, right?
Well, I wouldn't exactly say I'm the real star, but I am going to get some nice screen time here in Black Panther, too. I shot a
That's
couple
awesome.
of stunts on that film. Yeah, so that was fun. And then working, actually, I mean, the truth is it's kind of good that I didn't come with the transition, man. I've had a bunch of driving jobs here in the last couple of months. I'm not sure I would have been able to manage keeping all the balls in the air. So, yeah, it's been crazy, man, and it's been really busy down here in Georgia. Once again, thank you to Governor Kemp for keeping those film tax incentives in place.
So knowing what you know about movie sets and everything and in between, the news today that Alec Baldwin has settled an undisclosed amount of money to the family of Helena Hutchins for that fatal shooting on the set of the movie Rust. It was just this past December where Alec Baldwin said he didn't pull the trigger. Now he's paying what we believe to be as a pretty hefty dollar to the family. Your thoughts?
Yeah, undisclosed, which means somewhere in the millions. I don't think that this is necessarily a surprise. Alec Baldwin, I know, I mean, the guy's almost a human being. I'm sure that he almost feels bad about what happened. And, he's a producer on this film. So ultimately, he bears some responsibility. This was an accident that clearly occurred due to some severe negligence. And as a producer on the film, he bears responsibility there. The fact that he also happened to be the guy that was holding the gun when it, quote unquote, went off all by itself. I don't know whether that had any bearing on the case or not, but, certainly for the family that, this child that's lost his mom, husband that lost his wife, and really the industry lost a tremendous talent. I mean, she was really, really a strong talent, was really loved by cast and crew. And so it's just a huge tragedy. And, money is not going to necessarily be able to bring any further healing, but at least the family is going to have the resources that they need moving forward. What I'm a little bit perplexed by is the decision that they're going to go ahead and go back into production now and finish this film out. I certainly see the argument that, well, it's honoring her legacy. They're going to finish this film. On the other hand, as a producer on the film, Alec Baldwin is going to benefit from folks going out and seeing this film who otherwise probably would have ignored it. But now the fact that it's had so much controversy, I mean, it's marketing, even though it's unfortunate marketing. So
it was kind of a low budget film, wasn't it? Like there wasn't a lot of money behind this, and clearly look at the staff members that they had working on the set, and Alec Baldwin was the biggest star on this thing. It's not like we were talking about some Hollywood blockbuster where the show has to go on.
No, now I will tell you one good thing that has come out of this is that it has changed things dramatically on film sets. Last week, I shot on a film called Underdogs. It's starring Snoop Dogg and produced by Snoop Dogg. He plays a former NFL superstar who gets in trouble with the law and is sentenced to coach a youth football team. So, as you can probably ascertain from that plot, it's going to be a real turd.
Did you interact with Snoop on the set?
I did. And here's the thing. He's a great guy, but my one interaction with him was me making an ass of myself. He and his team were listening to 80s music in their trailer, and I'm sitting in my car. We're getting ready to shoot this scene. He's supposed to be in the car directly in front of me in this gold Mercedes SUV, and I hear somebody come up behind the car, and they say, I've been waiting. And like any normal American who was raised in the 80s, I immediately responded with, for a girl
like you. Right.
And as I completed the line, the gentleman who was singing was now at the front of my vehicle and turned around, and it was Snoop Dogg, and he gave me this look that clearly said, shut up, you idiot.
You got the old classic, old school murder was the case Snoop Dogg look.
Yes, I did, man. I kept quiet after that. But we had a lot of guns on that set, and what I've noticed now is that anytime there is a weapon on set, the directors will call the entire cast and crew together. They'll have the safety meeting. They will hold the gun up. They will explain what it is, what bullets they're using, which, of course, are dummy bullets. And then they will offer the opportunity for anyone on the set to now check the gun and just make sure that they are comfortable with it and feel safe.
Good.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's changed things dramatically, and that's certainly a positive because accidents happen on sets all the time, man.
Mr. Baker, let's do this again next week, okay?
Please do, man. Thanks for having me on.
You got it. That is Brian Baker on Twitter at NaptownBry. Don't go anywhere. More Hammer and Nigel show. Top stories next.
There's only one you, and you only have one heart. That's why Franciscan Health is here with the highest level of heart care that's personal, compassionate, and sensitive to your needs. Known for embracing innovative technology and advancements in care, our nationally recognized heart team is committed to helping you protect the only heart you've got. To schedule your appointment with a heart care expert or to get a second opinion, visit franciscanhealth.org/heartcare.
As a Shane Company jewelry consultant, I always enjoy telling our customers about our jewelry and how special it is. Like our cultured pearls. And right now, pearls are more popular than ever. Pearl strands, drop earrings, pearl rings, worn stacked and layered, everyone's wearing them. Did you know that a pearl takes 2 to 3 years to form inside a mollusk? It takes on the color of the nacre, the interior of the shell. So a lavender nacre will produce a lavender pearl. At Shane Company, our pearls are known for their beautiful luster. They're in their natural colors and never dyed. We source them directly from pearl farmers around the world. And we string our pearl strands with an individual knot between each pearl for extra security. Visit us today or chat with us online. We don't work on commission, so you'll never feel rushed or pressured. Whether you come in for a new on-trend pearl necklace or a diamond engagement ring, we'll educate you about our jewelry, so you'll leave feeling like an expert.
Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and ShaneCo.com.
Hey, Kate. So you think we got tar spot?
In that field east of the river, for sure. That's why I'd go with that Brevant Seeds Corn Hybrid.
You got those soil test results?
Yep. We'll want to increase your potash recommendation.
Should I be using a pre-emerge for Mare's Tail?
Absolutely. And soon.
Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Nope. A hot dog is a hot dog.
If it matters in ag, your retailer knows it. That's why at Brevant Seeds, we work only with retailers. Find yours at Brevant.com.
When physical therapy didn't work, when rest and medication didn't do the job, when your doctor says now's the time, rise up to back and neck pain with spine surgery from IU Health. We offer convenient access to highly skilled spine surgeons from Indiana's only nationally recognized healthcare system. Our team of multidisciplinary specialists work together on the best surgical option to get you back to doing the things you love. Visit iuhealth.org/spine care to learn more.
Tony Katz here for Premier Arms in Brownsburg, Central Indiana's premier arms dealer. They have over 1,200 firearms in stock, the largest selection of used firearms in the area, from pre-Civil War to modern guns. Premier Arms has always put their customers ahead of their profits. That's why they never increased their margins during the COVID pandemic. They always have ammunition available when a customer buys a firearm. Everyone can find what they're looking for at Premier Arms in Brownsburg, 3754 South Green Street. Find them online at premierarms.com. Premierarms.com. Tell them Tony Katz sent you.
Do you have a wet basement problem? Hi, I'm Mike Smith with Swingco Crawl Space and Basement Repair, Indy's most trusted basement waterproofer. Your basement is a very important part of your home. Whether it's finished or unfinished, there's nothing worse than a wet, unusable basement. Swingco's basement waterproofing will fix your wet, unusable basement permanently and forever. Protect your greatest asset, your home, by waterproofing your basement today. Call the real, local, family-owned waterproofing experts at Swingco Crawl Space and Basement Repair, 317-407-1868 or SwingcoLLC.com.
Coming up in 2 minutes, a student was killed this morning at Purdue. The victim's roommate is in custody. Parker Carlson reports on an arrest made from a weekend shooting outside of a liquor store. And Chris Davis tells you why the National Guard, Indiana's National Guard, is being reimbursed by Florida. That's coming up after Fox News Radio from the Shepherd Community Center studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 5 o'clock.
They're on the same team. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. For hurricane relief, at least, President Biden and Florida's Republican governor are holding a joint briefing in Fort Myers, one of the areas with the most damage from Hurricane Ian.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis says the recovery is well underway.
We've deployed resources that were pre-staged and are now in the field for food, water, and other types of supplies.
President Biden, who got a look at damage from the air, says more will be needed to help those affected by Ian survive the next major storm.
We're going to help rebuild roads and bridges and public water systems. We've already allocated funding from the infrastructure law that I signed to continue making Florida's power grid more resilient than it is now.
The president says the federal government will be with Florida every step of the way.
Fox's Gernal Scott. The president is also doubling the amount of time the federal government will cover response costs. What happened at a meeting in Vienna could pump up gas prices in the U.S. as OPEC nations cut oil production by a larger than expected 2 million barrels a day, beginning next month.
This after President Biden's trip to Saudi Arabia in July failed to secure any oil commitments to meet demand. White House spokesman John Kirby on Fox's America's Newsroom.
And it's also why the president is working so hard on clean energy solutions, because that's really the future.
Right now, AAA has regular unleaded averaging $3.83 per gallon nationwide as gas prices in Los Angeles this week top a record high of almost $6.50 per gallon.
Fox's Jeff Manasso. The White House has said the Saudi Arabia trip wasn't about oil and says the president will release more oil from the strategic reserves next month. The rebound's over, at least for today on Wall Street, and it could have been worse. The Dow drops 42 points after pairing heavier losses. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Who police have in custody. 77 degrees and sunny in downtown Indianapolis. Radar is clear. You've got a low of 52 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:02. A student killed this morning at Purdue.
Our suspect name and status with the university is G. Min, goes by Jimmy Shaw.
Purdue Chief of Police Leslie Wheat. The victim was ID'd as Varun Manish Chedda. He died from several stab wounds, according to an autopsy. Indy police have arrested a suspect for a shooting that killed one woman over the weekend. Parker Carlson reports.
Police credit the community for helping the investigation, alongside officers knowing the neighborhoods that they patrol and IMPD's Violent Crimes Unit. Police say that Ronnie Smith was the one who pulled the trigger early Saturday morning, killing Sabrina Travis on the sidewalk outside of a liquor store on Indy's Near East Side. Wednesday, he was arrested without incident for reckless homicide. Parker Carlson, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
A Zionsville paramedic will spend 8 years in prison for having and distributing child pornography. 48-year-old Daniel Stevens was sentenced after he pled guilty to the child porn charges, says the Department of Justice. He worked as a firefighter paramedic in Zionsville and also worked for a hospital in Indianapolis. Stevens will be on probation for 10 years after his time is up behind bars. Gas prices are still going up. Gas Buddy says the statewide average today is $4.14 for a gallon of regular. The average was just $4 2 days ago. It's payback for Indiana. Chris Davis reports on why your state is getting $130,000 from Florida.
It's been that surge that has been the biggest issue, and the flooding.
When Florida needed help with Hurricane Ian relief, Indiana was ready to go. The Indiana National Guard sent a dozen soldiers via chopper to Fort Rucker, Alabama to help. When they got there, they were turned back. Not needed. Florida is repaying that $130,000 for the fuel, meals, lodging, and paying the soldiers for the trip. Chris Davis, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 5:04.
There's a reason Comcast Business powers more businesses than any other provider. Actually, there's a few. Comcast Business offers the fastest, reliable network, the peace of mind that comes with Security Edge, helping to protect all your connected devices. and the most reliable 5G mobile network. Want me to keep going? I can. Whether your small business is starting or growing, you need Comcast Business. Technology solutions that put you ahead and give you serious savings. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Get internet, security, and voice for just $40 per month for 12 months when you add mobile. Plus, get free installation and ask how to get a $500 prepaid card with a qualifying gig bundle. Ends 11/6/2022. Restrictions apply. Requires Eagle Bill and AutoPay. New Comcast Business 250 megabit per second internet. Security edge and one voice line customers only. 2-year agreement required. Equipment taxes and other fees and subject to change. Must add mobile 90 days from internet install and keep all services for mobile discount. Comcast Business Mobile utilizes the network with the most Root Metrics 5G data reliability wins in 1H 2022. Results may vary. Award is not an endorsement.
Need to beat inflation? Golden Oak Lending is here to help.
Inflation has credit card balances at an all-time high. Why pay up to 25% interest when Golden Oak can pay off that debt at 5.75% fixed?
Our low mortgage rates make you the winner.
Call 317-706-GOLD to lock in your 5.75% rate today.
Golden Oak Lending cured my blues.
NMLS 114937. 5.75% fixed, 6.991% APR. FHA 15-year mortgage with 20% equity and approved credit.
With traffic on the 5s at 5:05, here's Matt Baer.
Crash clear northeast side, southbound 465 at 71st after 69. Still stop and go traffic from Meridian over to Allisonville Road. And if you're going home to Shelbyville, bad news here. Eastbound 74 still have that road semi-cleanup approaching Acton Road. That's blocking the right lane, stopping traffic past Post. South side eastbound 465 stop and go traffic from 70 over to Emerson Avenue, and on the east side southbound lanes jammed. The 70 slow down to Arlington. Traffic sponsored by Audible. The best audio entertainment this fall is on Audible. It's the home of storytelling with audiobooks, exclusive originals, popular podcasts, and more. All in one app. Sign up for a free 30-day trial at audible.com. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Tonight's forecast will call for clouds to slowly increase throughout the night. Low temperatures will be around 50 degrees, which is slightly warmer than previous nights. Tomorrow, a spotty chance of a shower in the morning. The afternoon will turn partly cloudy. High temperatures in the mid-70s. Tomorrow night, a cold front crosses central Indiana. Low temperatures back into the mid-40s. Friday, much cooler air in the forecast, mostly sunny and breezy. High temperatures in the upper 50s. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
Sunny and 76 downtown. I'm Harrison Silcox on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel. Can you believe these characters are weirdos? On 93 WIBC.
So let's rock it! My name is Jason Hammer. Big Nige is out today. He has an infected crotch. In just a moment, we will connect with a friend of mine down in Florida. We're going to find out how the rescue and the recovery is going on. But before we do that, let's check in with America's battle against COVID-19.
COVID-19, oh, I swear that I mean at this moment.
There are 3 vaccines.
China, piss off, now you
Mondo, Solo.
We're all nervous because of COVID-19.
Yesterday, to quote the great Elmer Fudd, very quietly, the CDC announced it would no longer list COVID-19 advisories for countries in regards to international travel. Now, this is just fancy talk for everybody's over this thing. As much as certain politicians in this country are going to try to scare you with some new variant, or they're going to wear masks in their car by themselves, whatever the case may be, that's fine. But even the CDC is starting to move past this thing. Fauci is going to retire soon. I know he's not on board with this because it simply means that he's not going to have as many television interviews to have. When the CDC stops posting the advisories, you know the country has moved on. So if you live somewhere or work somewhere where they still have some of these ridiculous mandates in place, ask your supervisors one simple question. Why? If the CDC has basically moved on from this, what virtue signaling are you doing to your employees? That would be my question to your bosses. Now, Let's connect with a friend of mine. Let's go to the drivehubler.com hotline. Matt Hall. I've known Matt for a long time. We used to do some radio together way back in the day. He's now in Cape Coral, Florida. Matt, refresh my memory here. Where is Cape Coral, Florida compared to, say, like the Key West, Fort Myers area?
Good to hear your voice, Hammer. Cape Coral is right next to Fort Myers. In between that and Pine Island. You probably have heard a lot about Pine Island. Sanibel is just south of us, but we took a direct hit. We took the eye. Took about 140 miles per hour winds. Fortunately, we have power. We were one of the first 4,000 in this area to get power. Lost a couple shady lady black olive trees, about 40 feet. They just tipped right over. Missed the house.
How's the recovery going right now? I know today Biden was down there, DeSantis was down there. How is the recovery efforts going?
Amazing. Governor DeSantis has been here almost every day. The sheriff in this area has been very vocal, Carmine Marcino. The first aid, Red Cross, FEMA, National Guard. You got services coming from everywhere. I think there was another 1,500 linemen that just came in town today. I've seen Miami Police, Fort Lauderdale, Sunnyside. We live really close to the main fire station, police station, and city building. So we're probably on their grid. But we go over to the city building and use their Wi-Fi, and we see all those guys over there. They're pulling 12-hour shifts 7 days a week right now.
Yeah, that was one of the things we were talking about, was as devastating as this storm was, and we see the pictures, and it looks like total devastation. The power was back on relatively quickly when you compare it to what some of the similar hurricanes have done in the past and how long it took power to come back for those.
Correct, yeah. Fort Myers, they suffered a lot of flooding being along the Waxahachie River. But they were able to restore a lot of their power. They're under, I believe, FPNL, Florida Power and Light, and we're under LTEC, Lee County Electric Company. So there's been some differences between those two. We have 200,000 residents here at Cape Coral. Only 13,000 have power right now.
Man, I'm looking at the pictures here, Matt, and do the pictures, and again, I know you don't really have internet too much or too much Wi-Fi, but the pictures that we're seeing looks like just total devastation. Like, it almost looks like a bomb has gone off in Fort Myers. Is that a fair assessment?
Yes, very much so. We haven't ventured outside of Cape Coral. Driving around is very archaic. It's scary.
Is there still water? Is there still high water, or has that receded back?
Everything has receded. So most of the homes have all lost their water out of their house, but they lost a lot of things with that.
Well, Matt, before we let you go here, if there's one thing people listening right now in Indianapolis can do, or if somebody's listening online at anywhere in this country, what's the one thing that the folks in Fort Myers and Cape Coral need more than anything else? Is it just a monetary donation?
That assistance is great. We need a lot of water. We need ice. Things are not on yet. There's going to be years of rebuilding. There's going to need some bigger people to come in and help out. The government's been great, but we need some individuals.
Well, Matt, stay safe down there, and certainly keep us up to date with the recovery efforts. All right, man?
Will do. It's great to hear your voice. Bye.
You too, brother. Be safe. All right, Matt Bear's got to look at the roads.
Eastbound 465, stop and go from Westfield Boulevard over to Allisonville Road. There was a crash. It has cleared. Looking at the east side, southbound 465, stop and go after Penn Pike down to 74. And this road semi-cleanup continues going to Shelbyville, eastbound 74 on the approach to Acton. The right lane is blocked. Traffic is stopped back to Post. South side, eastbound 465, very slow roll from 70 over to Emerson. Traffic sponsored by Audible. The best audio entertainment this fall is on Audible. It's the home of storytelling with audiobooks, exclusive originals, popular podcasts, and more, all in one app. Sign up for a free 30-day trial at audible.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
All right, right now it's 77 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. And coming up next, back by popular demand, the crazy coupon lady, Crystal Hammer. And I'm told she's got a little tailgate item for you for the Colts game tomorrow. I can't confirm nor deny, but that's the rumor that I'm hearing. Crazy coupon lady, next.
From the very beginning, and every workday since, at every shift and every individual effort, we carry a common purpose, a common cause. It's a duty we proudly honor, knowing behind every product we build is your faith in us, dedicated to the craft of gun making, dedicated to your freedom, equality, security, and the promise of this great country. Smith & Wesson, empowering Americans. Learn more at smith-wesson.com.
Your home is your sanctuary. Get the peace of mind you deserve with a free estimate on a Generac automatic standby generator for your home from Generator Supercenter, the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer. With expert installation and 24-hour monitoring, Generator Supercenter won't leave you in the dark. Financing is available. Take control of your power today with Generator Supercenter. Call 317-827-0808. Generator Supercenter of Indianapolis, 317-827-0808.
If today were the last day of your life, would you want to do what you're about to do today? As time marches on, the inescapable movement of the clock can change our perspective on life and our daily purpose. We all get there someday. In recent years, families I work with often ask, "What happens to me, Brian, if something happens to you or you decide to retire?" Every day I ask myself, does this still feel like a purpose that I look forward to, or is this starting to feel like a job? This is Brian Singer with Singer Financial. I feel blessed to still love what I do, but someday my purpose might shift to playing pickleball 24/7. CNBC reports that 73% of financial advisors lack a formal succession plan. That means that nearly 3 out of 4 advisors may be contemplating their own retirement with no transitional support for the clients who may have trusted them for years or decades. Fiduciary advisors put clients' best interests first. At Singer Financial, that means knowing how the individuals, couples, and families we work with will be taken care of for many more years beyond my retirement, unexpected disability, or death. Great things in business are never done by one person. They're done by a team of people. I'm excited to share that Singer Financial is now a part of Howard Bailey Financial, an Indiana-based retirement planning firm. We believe our integration with the Howard Bailey team is a giant step forward in our mission to be the last financial team you would ever need or want. Howard Bailey is a growing firm with a youthful, energetic founder and a cutting-edge planning process designed to help you transition into a work-optional lifestyle someday. Call us at 317-852-9153 to schedule a discovery visit and talk about your someday. If you're ready to plan for your best retirement, we should get together.
Investment advisory services offered through registered investment advisors Howard Bailey Securities, LLC, and AE Wealth Management, LLC. Working with Singer Financial cannot guarantee investment success or that specific financial goals will be achieved.
$111,000. Would you be upset if you lost $111,000? I'll tell you where you wouldn't want to be. Anywhere around this guy. Get this, 96% of Americans lose an average of $111,000 in Social Security income. And it's because they claim their benefits at the wrong time. But you could avoid this with a free Social Security analysis from Bill Demery right here in Indy. He knows Social Security like the back of his hand. This free analysis will tell you exactly when to file for your benefits, so you don't leave one thin dime on the table. If you've saved at least $200,000 and have not filed for Social Security, schedule your free analysis now by calling 317-972-9172. That's 317-972-9172. 317-972-9172.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by thehomeloanexpert.com.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show on 93 WIBC.
It is the Hammer and Nigel Show. My name is Jason Hammer, and let's go to the drivehubler.com hotline. Back by popular demand, the crazy coupon lady, Crystal Hammer, is back. My better half. How are you, lovely?
I'm doing good. Just got home from work and putting some food in the crock pot, and I'm doing well.
I love a good crock pot meal. Anytime you have the word crock and it's not followed by of blank, it's usually something good. We'll talk about that at another time. Now, you were not on with us last weekend. You were trying to do a million things in a small amount of time. Where were you last week?
So I did not do any couponing last week. And reason being is because our oldest, Christopher Hammer, had some pretty big visions of a wonderful senior float that he wanted to do for homecoming. And so I was crazy busy just trying to help him design and build and put together an amazing float that he had this weekend.
So really, you were one of two student parents that were at the float site, kind of acting like de facto supervisors, because teachers, they don't do float sites anymore, do they?
No, they don't. I was told, I can't remember who it was that told me that, because it used to be teachers were like chaperones and they would go to the student's house and they would chaperone each class. But I guess like the teachers unions now do not allow for teachers to do that anymore. They don't want the teachers at the student's house.
Okay, so no teachers want to come by the houses unless they're getting paid by the school. So you and another parent were there supervising. How was the homecoming experience? Because when we were coming up in school, homecoming float building was like a really big deal. That's where all the students came together. It didn't matter what you were into. Like the jocks, the nerds, the goth kids, they all kind of got together and had a good time.
Right, because the whole purpose of, building the float was to make the other classes look like crap.
Right. Right.
You wanted yours. In fact, where, I went to school, like we drove around to try to find the other floats.
I love how hood you used to be. Like total hood, the crazy coupon lady.
But, it's sad. I think the pandemic had a lot to do with it, and I think it's also generational. But that whole school spirit like we had when we were in school, it's just not there anymore. It was like pulling teeth to try to get seniors to come out and help on this float. I mean, we had a good group of probably 3 or 4. One of them was an underclassman because her class was not doing a float, and she wanted to help.
Wow.
Yeah, she was a sophomore, and she's like, I want to help. And her class, elected officials said they weren't doing one. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely different, but I will say Chris got so much praise for that float that I'm hoping that by the kids seeing it, that next year they're like, you know what? I want our class to do that. So I'm hoping that by seeing that, it gets back to being popular to do again.
Yeah, El Presidente, Chris Hammer, he did a great job with that, and the leadership skills I was very impressed with. So good on him. Now, let's get to one more thing here before we get to your deals of the week here. I think this is something very important. I think people are waiting for us to weigh in on this. With the upcoming divorce, the pending divorce of Tom Brady and Giselle, do they get put on our free pass lists that you and I have put together? For those who don't know, you and I have a list of 3 celebrities each, to where if the situation arises, we get to do the hanky-panky with them, and the other person can't say a damn thing. But this was before we thought, Tom Brady and Giselle would be on the market. Does this change anything? Are you into Tom Brady? Does he make your list?
No, honestly, even more so no now because of the way he looks. To me, he's so skinny, and I don't know if he's had work done on his face, but no, absolutely not. Like, I would rather have Tom Brady post all the work and everything with the dad bod
Like the Michigan Tom Brady, where he had that combine picture standing there in his boxer shorts with a bad haircut and dad bod.
Right. I think he looks better there than he does now. Now he just looks sickly to me, but that's just me. So no, it does not change my list.
Yeah, my list is pretty rock solid too. My list is not going to change. And honestly, Giselle was never really the one from Victoria's Secret that moved the needle for me. Listen, we're not saying that they're not attractive people. Clearly they are. But are they worthy of the free pass list? This is a no from me.
It's a no for me, too, because you also have to have – I will say this, though. One thing I do like about Tom Brady right now is the Florida man, Tom Brady.
Right.
Yeah, his personality is so much better now that he's in Florida than when he was in New England. I do like his personality a lot more.
And I am looking forward to the list of chicks that Tom Brady is going to be linked to in the next 3 to 5 years. Because, again, we were talking about this earlier. I think Casey and I were talking about this in the hallway. She's getting ready to join us next. Maybe we'll bring it up again. Tom Brady, I think, is the one guy in America that could walk into a bar with Zac Efron, George Clooney, Leonardo DiCaprio, Matt Damon, and still leave with the hottest chick in the room because he's Tom Brady.
I can agree with you on that, but it wouldn't. I mean, he would not be my first pick out of those people, though.
All right, crazy coupon lady, Crystal Hammer. Let's get down to business here. The Colts have a primetime game on Thursday night. Colts at Denver. We've got to find some food to eat for this thing. Are there any deals that you have for some game day grub?
Okay, I will say food deals, and I said that right, correct?
Thank you. You didn't sound like a hillbilly that time.
Are hard to come by right now. I mean, it is extremely hard. But Kroger has some really great deals on some tailgating things that you can use. They're Kroger appetizers. Now, they are the mozzarella sticks, the potato skins. I found loaded potato bites, pig in the blankets. They're normally $9, okay? Well, they're on sale for $7.49, but there is a Kroger digital coupon that you can clip, and you can use it up to 5 times, and it makes each of those appetizers just $5.99.
Okay. All right.
That's a great deal. So you can have a variety. You don't have to do 5 of all mozzarella sticks. Like you can buy 5 different types of appetizers that you can use for your tailgating for Thursday football game.
Okay, so you could get whatever appetizers they've got available. You could have like a smorgasbord of that for the Colts and Broncos game.
Yep. And then also the Cooked Perfect meatballs, or the frozen meatballs. And they are really good meatballs. I really like them, and I love when I catch them on sale. They're normally $9.49, almost $10 a bag. They're on sale for $7.99. But again, there's a Kroger digital coupon that you have to clip on their app that they have, and it makes them $5.99 a bag. So then you have your appetizers, and now you got some meatballs as well.
So you have to have the Kroger app. It's not enough just to have a Kroger card or a rewards number that you type in at the checkout. You actually have to have the Kroger app, right?
You have to have the Kroger app, and you have to clip these coupons in order to get what they're called weekly digital deals.
One more thing here before we let you go. I've had somebody ask me if you have any tips on milk or OJ or like breakfast items, because again, things are so damn ridiculously expensive, and then there's supply chain issues. There's no signs of things getting any better anytime soon. Do you have any insight on that?
Well, this week at Kroger, they're half gallons of milk. They are on sale for $1.99, but again, they are also part of that Kroger digital deal where they have a coupon that makes them $1.29. So what I want to tell people is, I know normally if you buy a bigger bulk, you think you get a better price. It's not in this case. If you buy a 1-gallon container of milk at Kroger right now, it's $3.29. But if you buy 2 of the half gallons of milk and you've clipped that Kroger digital coupon, you're only paying $2.58 for a gallon of milk.
So it's cheaper to buy the 2 half gallons compared to the big gallon.
Yeah, and you can actually buy up to 5 half gallons at that price for $1.29.
Oh, that's a big deal. They let you buy 5. All right. All right. anybody has any questions for you or they have questions about the couponing process, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
Just find me on social media. You just have to, I'm with my name. It's Crystal Hammer, and you just have to search it. It's spelled CHRYSTAL, just like the stripper.
Thank you. God bless you. Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, right?
That is correct.
Crazy Coupon Lady, I will see you tonight.
All right. Love you.
Love you. All right. Casey Daniels, the side piece. I just spoke to my wife. Now the side piece is coming in the studio. We'll have that conversation coming up right after a look at the news with Harrison Silcox.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level. On the go.
Putting politics aside, 75 degrees and sunny in Indy. A few clouds expected tonight with a low of 51. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:30. President Joe Biden is in Fort Myers, Florida today, getting to see some of the damage caused by Hurricane Ian in person. Governor Ron DeSantis had nothing but good things to say about how the different levels of government have worked together.
We've worked as well across state, local, and federal of any disaster that I've seen.
Hurricane Ian hit the southwest coast of Florida 1 week ago. The Indiana National Guard was ready to help, but Florida didn't need our troops. Chris Davis reports on why they're paying Indiana back.
When you hear the sound of a National Guard helicopter, you're hearing your money being spent. Fuel, crew pay, meals, and lodging cost about $130,000. The National Guard flew the 38th Infantry Division Aviation Brigade to Fort Rucker, Alabama, to help with Hurricane Ian rescue. Those dozen soldiers were turned back. Though it's still not clear who made that decision, the National Guard says Florida has agreed to pay it back and make our National Guard whole for the effort. Chris Davis, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Purdue student Jimin Shah called campus police this morning to tell them his roommate was dead. Detectives are calling it a homicide.
The victim's name is Varun Manish Chetta.
Purdue Chief of Police Leslie Wheat says Shah is charged with the murder of his roommate, Varun Manish Chetta. An autopsy says Chetta's cause of death was from several stab wounds. Police haven't shared a motive, but they say the killing was unprovoked. Expect temperatures to drop in Indiana the next few days.
We're expecting a pretty widespread frost throughout the region both days this weekend.
Matt Eckhoff with the National Weather Service. The Pacers start preseason play in about an hour and a half. Head coach Rick Carl says he's focused on the team's balance tonight.
We're going to try to get a lot of guys minutes. At the same time, we're going to be aggressive with playing our main guys, and being real competitive.
Indiana plays Charlotte tonight at 7. With traffic at 5:32, what's going on, Matt Baer?
Harrison looking at eastbound 74 approaching Acton. That's a rolled semi-trailer still blocking the right lane, and traffic is stopped back Post Road. It's a bad delay. Cleanup has been since early this afternoon. East side southbound 465 loaded, barely moving before 70 down to Arlington Avenue. Inbound 65 jams at 21st, and then on the southwest side southbound 465 stop traffic after Sam Jones, and a slow roll from Kentucky over to Emerson Avenue. Traffic sponsored by B Window. Right now, get a $2,000 energy savings credit plus sale prices on energy-efficient B Window sidings and doors. No payment or interest for up to 24 months. That's Faber's B Window. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And a forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Clouds increase for tonight. Low temperature of 50 degrees tomorrow. Spotty chance at a morning shower. Dry afternoon, partly cloudy, high temperature of 76 degrees. I'm Wish TV's Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
I think it's awesome.
The Hammer and Nigel Show on 93 WIBC.
You rock.
It is the Hammer and Nigel Show. I'm Jason Hammer. And Casey Daniels has sauntered into the studio for the side piece. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me. So Nigel's off again.
Can we talk about him?
Oh, please.
Let's talk about Nigel since he's not here to defend himself.
That's what we do.
I want to know who his agent is, because whoever Nigel's agent is, I would like to work up a contract for moi, because he seems to have a lot of days off, Hammer.
The thing is, he gets the same amount of vacation days as I do, but he uses up all this sick time too, because he's a raging alcoholic who's fat and doesn't take care of himself. He always comes down with these illnesses, and guess who's here to carry this thing?
I know.
Moi.
It's all on your shoulders.
See, this is why I've got like a bad rotator cuff. It's from carrying the show all these years. That's why. It's up here on my shoulders.
Well, if he's not feeling well, I hope that he gets better, but dude, come on.
Right. And you're not the only person that's noticed that. People have decided to name this show Hammer and Friends.
Right. Because you never know who's going to be in with you.
Right.
You haven't had to do the emergency call to Hammer the Younger to come fill in, which is my nickname for your son.
He might be here next week because Captain Fatass isn't going to be here the rest of this week. And then all of next week, with the exception of Friday. He comes back on Beer Sample Friday.
Perfect day. He does that intentionally. So is he out on vacation right now, or is he sick?
He's out on vacation. It's fall break, so they went down to Tampa. Now, they were concerned there might not be a Tampa to go to this time about a week ago, but looks like Tampa was spared the majority of the hits from Hurricane Ian.
Well, I hope he's enjoying it down there and he can say hello to Ron DeSantis for all of us while he's there.
Right.
You know.
All right, so I want to get to know you just a little bit here, Casey.
Oh, okay.
So we've got the midterms.
This isn't close enough, this small studio here?
No. Oh, we can get closer, trust me.
Okay.
Well, at least HR told me I can't get to a certain level.
Right.
So we've got midterms coming up a little bit over 5 weeks away here. And kind of like myself and Nige, you've worked in radio for a long time, but you jocked the hits. You were somebody that was told, keep your political views to yourself. Don't say anything. Just talk about how awesome the music is that you're playing. And every once in a while, do something wacky.
Right.
Here at WIBC, we get the green light to be ourselves. We can completely talk about whatever we want to, and I'm incredibly grateful for this opportunity that our bosses give us. They never tell us to stop saying something or cool it. They don't. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So, you've been here for how long now?
6 months this week.
6 months this week.
Yeah.
When you talk politics on the radio, television or radio, it's substantially different than doing jockeying the hits on the radio. What's it been like for you? Take me through this 6 months inside one of the most powerful news talk stations in America.
I know, isn't that crazy? So it is. It's interesting when you're not working on a political news talk station, you try to keep your opinion to yourself because you want as many people to come through the door as possible. And you don't want to offend somebody. Be nice, be likable, be fun.
It's like Michael Jordan used to say, Republicans buy shoes too. That's why he never got involved in politics.
Yeah, and so when I first came here to WIBC, I mean, talk about a learning process. Wow, it's like, no. We want your opinion. And that's taken a little bit to get used to. And of course, you know, I'm paired with someone who is very opinionated.
Rob.
So when I get that second to get it in there, I try. But it has been a learning curve for me because they keep saying, no. Come on, more from you, more. Tell us what you think, what's going on in your head. And I'm just so not used to that. It's been 30 years of don't tell me what you think, to the exact opposite of what do you think? Well, I don't know. Am I allowed to tell you? Yes, that's what you're getting paid for.
On one hand, do you feel relief that you can just say whatever you want? You can be yourself. But at the same time, it's like, you're right. 30 years, you've been told, just keep your mouth shut.
Suppress it.
Suppress it. It's a hard habit to break sometimes.
It is a hard habit to break. And you'd think that it would come bursting out of me like a volcano. You know, like, oh my gosh, the levee's broke and blah, here it comes. But it's not like that. It still is. There's that little voice behind me like, is this okay? Am I going to offend someone? And then, you know, there's Rob, who's got all this bravado and opinion, and it just comes shooting out of him. And being paired with him has taught me so much. And I'm so grateful for the opportunity to be here and be surrounded with people like you and Nigel and our bosses who are, you know, encouraging and welcoming, but at the same time are allowing me to get there at my own pace.
Now, I'm assuming you probably thought you had a pretty thick skin before you got here.
Well, yeah. I
When
mean,
you
kinda
talk
have to.
politics,
Uh-huh.
when that becomes, your main topic of conversation
Mhm.
in a broadcast medium, you learn a completely different definition of having a thick skin.
Mhm. Yeah, you do. The good thing is that for the most part, the majority of the WIBC listeners are supportive and they're behind you, and they're championing you.
Right.
Because
The listeners are great, but there are trolls, though.
There are trolls, but many of them are sharing the same opinions that you are. So that's kind of a safe space. But it's definitely different when you're allowed to give your opinion and you haven't been used to doing that. So,
do you embrace the hate mail that comes in? Because I embrace it. It's material for us. Rob loves it.
Yes, he
Where
does.
are you at?
Haters go to the front of the line. He says, okay, so this is the thing. For years, I've always thought to myself, don't take advice that you wouldn't take. Don't take advice from someone that you wouldn't take. No, wait. Don't take criticism
You
from
can
someone.
get a good look at a T-bone by sticking your head up the butcher's ass.
I can't even say it right. Don't take criticism from someone you won't take advice from.
There we go.
That's the saying. Okay, so, I've always thought that, but it's never become more real to me than working here at WIBC. And again, working with you guys has taught me you got to be a little Teflon when it comes to that stuff. And
How long did it take you to tell a listener to go blank themselves on Twitter?
Well, I've never done that.
Oh, come on.
No.
Really?
Yeah, because you know what? I feel like
Wow.
they just want that attention, and I'm not going to give it to them. I'm not going to invite that into my life.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
This is my space when I'm at home and I'm on social media. If it's somebody who's attacking me, you know what? Okay, great. You have your opinion. I have mine, but I don't need to invite that in on a daily basis.
You're right. I punch down sometimes. I
Yeah.
admit it. I punch down. But sometimes I'll get bored. I'll be sitting on the can. I got my phone out. Blank you.
Yeah. Well, you know what? That's something that I'm still getting used to and getting stronger at, I think. And I've learned a lot from Rob when it comes to that. And I have to tell you, Hammer, it's kind of liberating. Like when I would get negative feedback from complete strangers who are allowed to have their opinion.
Sure.
Wow, it would be crushing because for 30 years I tried to be nice and likable and friendly. And when someone says something mean, it's like, where is that coming from? I'm nice, I'm friendly. But here at WIBC, when you give your opinion, if they don't agree with it, yeah, they're going to come for you. So it's kind of nice once you realize, okay, forget you.
Right.
You can let it go, and it doesn't bother me as much as it used to. So I'm actually really grateful to have learned that hard lesson here.
And it's okay to block somebody on social media. I see some people that do like a victory lap. I got blocked by so-and-so. If you do a victory lap because you were blocked by somebody,
What does that say about you?
Chances are you were probably being a troll to begin with. And it takes a lot for somebody to get blocked by Nigel and I, right? We kind of allow a lot to go on. But if you're a habitual pain in the ass and it's constant and it's all the time, or you cross a line of some kind, whether it's racial, homophobic, going after our families, something like that, then yeah, we block people from time to time.
I think a lot of it has to do with just having some confidence in yourself and conviction in your own thoughts. And you know what? I'm worthy of having an opinion too. If you don't agree with it, fine. But at least I'm able to express it.
Casey Daniels with us, part of the Kendall and Casey show every Monday through Friday, 9 to noon here at 93 WIBC. All right. Tom Brady and Giselle. They're both about to be on the market here.
Did you see? I don't know. Was that real or not? The tweet from Zach Miller,
Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson. Yeah.
Oh, it's totally fake, but I love it.
I do. I just thought it was so
funny. We got
funny.
that posted on our Facebook page because the reputation of Zach Wilson is that he's cougar bait.
Right, exactly. And
He
he's
hooked
like,
up with some of his mom's hot friends, allegedly.
Looking at you, Giselle. I got you. I got you, baby. For sure. I think it's hilarious. But, when it comes to Tom and Giselle, Rob and I discussed it on the air. Like, is this something you want to talk about? You don't want to talk about it? It's their personal, private life. But, hey, these are two people that have invited the public into their life. So it's okay. We can talk about it. But I look at it as kind of, you know what? he said a few weeks ago, I'm 45, I got a lot of stuff going on, right?
Right.
And isn't that just a bit comforting to you to know that these are these multimillionaires, they're good-looking people, they've got all the success, the happy family, yet they're struggling too. It just kind of makes me feel like, okay, if they're having problems, it's okay when I have problems. It normalizes it just a bit, that if the richest people in the world have issues, it's okay for the non-richest people in the world to have issues as well.
So I want to see the list of chicks that Tom Brady hooks up with here in the next year and a half. Because I'm telling you, this may be the one guy in America that could walk into any bar at his age right now.
And he'll pull something awesome.
And he will leave with the hottest woman there, and he can have his choice. Like, I think Tom Brady could walk into a bar with George Clooney, Brad Pitt, Leonardo DiCaprio.
And he's the one who's going to get
Zac
the girl?
Efron, and he leaves with the hottest chick there.
You think so?
Quarterback, the greatest of all time, Tom Brady.
Okay, well, you know what? I've seen a few memes of different people saying, hey, Giselle, looking at you.
Right.
I haven't seen any memes of women. Hey, Tom.
Oh, they're there. They're in his DMs. They're not out in public. They're sliding in those DMs.
Right. Okay, well, maybe he just needs to pass out that phone number.
So our website right now looks like it's a project done by a middle school kid. There's a lot of work being done. So the side piece isn't up there right now. But where can we find more information about you, your amazing radio program, and all the things that you do?
Well, I would say WIBC.com, but, I'm on Twitter, Casey Daniels 317. I'm also on TikTok, Casey Daniels 317, and I'm also on Instagram, Casey Daniels 317.
And yes, the website is a work in progress. They're trying to fix it as fast as they can. We're just joking.
So do we have time? I know this is going long. No, we don't have time. One piece of advice, quickly. WIBC night.
Well, you want advice from me?
Yeah.
Anything goes.
Okay.
Let it rip. Because these people paid to see you. This isn't free on the radio. They're paying good money. So we take this personally.
Bring it.
Right. Bring it.
Okay.
Say all the things you can't say on the radio. Do all the things you can't do here at the office.
Okay.
Give them their money's worth.
Got it.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Garage door problems? Call today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis has been solving garage door problems for 33 years. Call today for service today. 875-4577. Garage Doors of Indianapolis services all makes of garage doors 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call today for service today. Get it fixed right now. Call Garage Doors of Indianapolis at 875-4577 or visit doorstoday.com.
In the morning, call 875-4577. Service today.
Check out what's going on with 93 WIBC.
A Night with WIBC, presented by Relay Indiana, is back, and we're headed to the Schrott Center for the Arts on the campus of Butler University, Thursday, October 27th. Tickets on sale now. Head to WIBC.com for more info. The Home and Garden Show is headed to Builders Lumber and Hardware in Shelbyville. Tune in for a live broadcast this Saturday starting at 9. Be sure to tune in to Pat, Denny, and the gang on 93 WIBC. Securely destroy electronic data. Visit tech-recyclers.com.
At Busey Bank, we're proud to serve our local community through financial guidance and community investment. Offering sound advice and actionable insight, Busey builds financial strength, supports homeownership dreams, and offers customized lending strategies, connecting with our neighbors to build stronger communities. Busey Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
At Uline, the prevailing opinion is, if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 38,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
The roar of our engines, the pump of our heartbeats, the pedal to our metal, the sparks that ignite us, the pistons that push us, the passions that drive us. From the feelings that move us to the places that pull us on the roads that unite us. With nearly 6,000 stores and over 17,000 auto care centers, Napa has America's largest network of parts and care, here to keep you firing on all cylinders.
The best audio entertainment this fall is on Audible. It's the home of storytelling with audiobooks, exclusive originals, popular podcasts, and more. All in one app. Sign up for a free 30-day trial at audible.com.
Marry the house, date the rate. It all starts at thehomeloanexpert.com. Home of the 10-day closing guarantee.
NMLS number 1326241.
Matt Bear has a look at the roads.
Hammer crash on the west side, northbound 465 before West 56th Street, and it's blocking the left lane with traffic stop and go back to West 38th Street. We do have rubbernecking going in those southbound lanes before I-65 down to West 46th Street, so both directions bottled up here at the moment. Over on the east side, southbound 465 jams at 70 and still dealing with the crash and rolled semi on 74. Eastbound 74 towards Shelbyville. The right lane is blocked, traffic stop to Post. Traffic sponsored by B Window. Right now, get a $2,000 energy savings credit plus sale prices on energy-efficient B Window sidings and doors. No payment or interest for up to 24 months. That's Faber's B Window. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
75 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center at 93 WIBC. All right, it's the Hammer and Nigel show. Went a little long with Casey Daniels right there, but that's all right. We got rolling. We got to talking about stuff. That happens. Just a reminder, though, tickets are going fast for a night with WIBC presented by the amazing folks at Relay Indiana. As of this morning, there were just 150 left, which means we sold about 50 tickets or so yesterday. So at this rate, this bad boy is going to sell out very quickly. Get your tickets right now. We've got the link for tickets on our Facebook and Twitter. I think we have it pinned at the top. Just look for Hammer and Nigel. And you can also just go to the Ticketmaster website and search for WIBC, A Night with WIBC, where we get to be completely free of any restrictions. We get to have a lot of fun, and it's right before the midterms. So we want you guys to be fired up. We're going to be fired up, and this is going to be a fun night. A Night with WIBC presented by Relay Indiana. Tickets are on sale right now. This will sell out. The previous two times we've done it, sold out. We're on our way right now to selling this bad boy out. Less than 150 left. Ticketmaster.com. Search for WIBC. More Hammer and Nigel show when we come back. Top stories are next.
When you're an innovative business, every blinking cursor, every blank page is an opportunity. What will you do with it? Will you make something better or create something new? Our Dell Technologies advisors provide you with tools and expertise